With a load of iron ore, 26,000 tons more than the Edmund Fitzgerald weighed. Shippian crew was born to be tough when the gals and all them are good. The ship was afraid of the American side, coming back from some mill in Wisconsin. Freighters go, it was better than most. With the crew and good, kept it well seasoned. The oil came late and the breakfast had to wait. The waves broke all the railing. Every man knew as the captain in hell, which of November comes the
Whoa, what's going on here? Technical difficulties. Why does my face look like I have a filter on it? What's up, everybody? Hey, just wanted to say hi. Running a little behind tonight, only 4 minutes, simply because I lost track of time. I still got 2 St. Croix rods to rig up. I was trying to get that done, and then I looked at the clock and realized I better hit live. And then I get a text message from Eric. He's got an excuse for running late. It's funny. It's funny. I want to give a shout out to some of the peeps in the comments tonight. We're going to have a great show. Special guest. I got the St. Croix Rods will be joining us. We'll see who pops in shortly. E-Stack. It's going to be a medium-sized show. How about that? Actually, you know, we had Ryan from St. Croix Rods on a handful of times, and not only is he a great ambassador for the company and the products and their lineup of rods and just a vast knowledge, he's a rod geek, but he's also a heck of a good angler. And so we're going to be talking some fishing for sure with him. I'm just going through here. It really does look like I have some sort of facial. I did get a little sunburn, but it looks like one of those apps those teenagers use on TikTok. Let's see here. We're just going through the chats. Oh, Steve. Steve's at Pillar Point. Steve, I think you're going to catch a lot of fish this week. Fishing's been amazing. It truly has. Gosh, where do we start? It's been such a late spring up here. It's 100 degrees now, but which I'm fine with. I'm not complaining. It's one of my favorite times of the year. Like April, May, June, July, August, September, October, I guess, duck hunting, November, good fishing. And you can have December, January, February, March. But this is like the best time of the year for me. I love the mornings. I love the sun coming up early. And I love getting out there on the water. But this week and last week have been crazy. It's been literally all day. Let's see what some of these other... It's Lululemon moisturizer. Could be. I just put some moisturizer on my legs. They got burnt up pretty bad today. Some, I don't know what I used. Aloe vera, I guess. That's a good thing. Let me just catch up on a few things. Oh, okay. Give me 1 second. We got to send a link to our special guest. So since I'm the only one, and we can't hear what's new at the Bass Lab right now, Allow me to just copy and paste something. Give me 1 second. Let me type in a subject link. Send. With or without Eric, the show must go on. I see Ken Duke is in the comments. Welcome, Ken. Wise Fishing. All right, everyone's saying hello to Ken. Well, maybe Ken should. Actually, I think, didn't Ken do one of my shows once? Like the whole thing? I think so. Anyways. Oh, what else is on my plate? I'm just seeing empty CO2 cartridges. That's never a good thing. I burn through about 3 of these a year. It's when your life jackets get wet and they just explode. I don't know how this one happened because the compartment was completely dry. I opened it up and there it was. So I get to go on Amazon, spend $45 on the last time it happened was in November when one of my clients decided to fall into Chameau Bay. He lost his balance slightly, not because I was on the trolling motor aggressively, just happens. Thankfully, he saved the victory rod he had in his hand, a 7-foot medium that we use for dragging football jigs, and he held on to it. Actually, it reminds me of another story. My daughter, Emily, about 2 years ago. Oh, I got 3 good stories. Emily fell into the water off the bass boat because of an aggressive move with the trolling motor. Threw her off the side. She fell in, obviously, life jacket on, but she held on the rod the whole time, and that's what I was focused on most of the time while I was running to the back of the boat to snatch her up. And then just last weekend, I had Cole and Emily out fishing, and Cole said he wanted to go swimming. And so Emily took that as right now, and she just gave him a little shove off the front of the bass boat. While we were sight fishing, and I had a good fish on, or I was targeting a good fish. I was trying to make a good cast, and I was trying to give it to Emily actually to reel in. Cole can handle himself pretty good with a rod, but his Crocs were floating. There was some people around. He was shocked at first, and then I told him everything's okay. I'm not going to help you up just yet. I'm still working this bed, and I'm just kidding. I got him in pretty quick, but he had to be there. His Crocs were floating away. We gathered his Crocs, and shortly after we had to end it because we didn't have a change of clothes, which is fine. It happens. MJ goes, I hit my stride as a solo podcaster. Have to forces me not to get distracted. That's true. That's true. Oh, Michael, update on the lead poisoning. Yes. So I've decided I'm taking some pills that are supposed to help, but they're not, scientifically proven to really do a whole lot, but it potentially could be beneficial. I'm not sure. The thing is, they want me to go to 15 of these blood transfusion things in 30 days. And so it's just going to, obviously, that's not going to work for me at all until probably the winter time. And I kind of feel like I've had lead for a number of years in my system. So I'm taking extra precautions to some degree. I'm no longer licking tube heads, no longer chewing on split shots when I'm steelhead fishing, just trying to avoid contact. Although the way we've been fishing this week, we've been drop shotting quite a bit. And I like to use a 5/8 ounce drop shot weight the way we were targeting these fish this week. And I use a really short lead, 2 to 3 inches. And what's happening is the smallmouth are so aggressive, a lot of acrobatic jumps and just net jobs and whatever happens out there. They just throw the weights a lot. I'm using some pretty heavy leader as well. Trying to figure out a solution to that. I've talked about it and I've thought about it, and I'm thinking perhaps for these applications, something more of a chain like that they use in saltwater, or some sort of heavier material, perhaps, because it is frustrating. We lose probably 20, 25 weights a day. And of course, I'm rigging 20, 25 times in the boat as well. But this week has been crazy. Doubles every day since opening day. Same deal tomorrow, but we've been catching a lot of fish. It's a lot of work, but I love being out on the water. So, it's not too much of a burden. The only burden is, paperwork, things like that gets piled up, and having to do all that. You guys noticed I went just weekly with the guide reports instead of daily like we did in the early season, just to kind of help out. And we're still going to talk about the different equipment as well as the baits that are working. I just uploaded the video a few hours ago from last week, kind of talking about how things are going out there. But the fish are still really full-blown spawn, and there's still some pre-spawn fish. We tried for some post-spawners yesterday or maybe the day before, and it just hasn't. There's that post-spawn funk, and you can catch them, but I mean, what a big difference going from 50 fish a day to 20, and really having to grind it out and work for them. The post-spawn fish that I was targeting, they're set up off of some of the shallow shoals, and we could catch them cranking DT6. Been using some jerk baits, the jackhammer chatter bait, and then still dragging a lot of tubes and football heads around for those. And so it's been a lot of work, but very, very rewarding for sure. Let me just check this quick message here. I think. Oh, that's cool. There we go. So Devin goes, as long as it's painted, who cares if it's lead? Just if you're licking it or chewing on it, probably. Although I do pour a little bit of lead as well, but I think it's just all the years of fishing and just playing with lead led to those elevated levels. David asks, we'll take a couple questions here before we get let Eric maybe get a chance to jump on here. What are your thoughts on some of the Japanese pros that are using much heavy line when drop shotting with their finesse setups? 20-pound braids, 17-pound heavy leaders. I know I'm big on lighter lines. I wouldn't say I'm huge on lighter lines. I go 8-pound for most of my applications. While we're sight fishing off of beds, I go to 12-pound because they're really not biting out of hunger. It's more out of aggression and protection. So that allows us to kind of horse them in a little bit faster and not retie as much, especially when they're thrashing around. And we're dealing with today, I would say, I don't know, 50, 60 fish in the morning trip, and probably, I don't know, good 15 or so on the afternoon trip. So we're catching some good numbers for sure. Let's see what else we got here. There's a couple things I wanted to announce as well tonight, so I don't forget. You guys may not be aware, and unfortunately, I don't know if I have the shot. I thought I had that saved here. I'm just going to try to pull this up. If I can find it real quick. I hope I can. See, that's what happens when you're not prepared, Travis. Anyways, we still have the Tackle Warehouse giveaway. And what that means is you just have to send me an email or a DM with your receipt or proof that you used the Tackle Warehouse link, which I can post in the comments here. If you guys use that link and make a purchase, you can send me that. And we got a big bin back here of Tackle Warehouse t-shirts. You have to guess the number of t-shirts in here. You got till the end of July to do that and get entered in to win a bunch of great prizes for that. I really thought I had it handy for you guys. Here we go. I'm going to send that right now in the comments. If you guys want to copy and paste that and put it as a bookmark for Tackle Warehouse, you can do that. That definitely helps out the channel. JP's in the comments. JP actually helped work on my boat a couple days ago. Pretty easy fix. I just had a bad transducer go out, and him and John took over, and we were able to get that squared away, so I appreciate that. Oh, there it is in the comments. Thanks for working on my boat again this weekend. We'll get to that, JP. Come on. But JP's been crushing as well. It's just been a lot of fun up here, and I don't think I have a day off until the 4th, which is fine. But then I go back until JP and I get to fish the Thousand Islands Open out of Kingston. So it's going to be a very, very busy. Can't believe it's almost July. But hopefully we're going to get through this. So I just got a text from Eric, and he's going to be a little bit. So instead of just randomly talking, let's start the show. Let's get the show on the road and bring Ryan from St. Croix. How you doing, Ryan? Oh, no volume. No volume, Ryan. If you go into settings, perhaps you can pick audio.
All right. How about now?
Perfect. Look at that.
All right. I'm good to go.
How are you
guys tonight?
Oh, man. We're getting there.
I'm hearing about you getting lead poisoning. Holy cow.
Yeah. It's I just found out a couple months ago, and then the regular doctors kind of they had to retest it. They thought the levels were way too high and that maybe it was off, and then they have to call like the county, and then the state gets involved.
Just for chewing on some jig heads, huh?
Yes, I'm telling you. I'm like, guys, it's because I fish. There's no lead in the water. Don't worry about that.
So do you actually glow in the dark now, or is that just like a myth?
I don't know. Maybe. But we'll get it taken care of. It's called chelation therapy, and it's just it's a process where I am. It's 4 hours away, and they want me to go 15 days in a month to try to get it all out of the system. But we'll see. It just, is what it is. Yeah. It happens. I bet you there's a lot of anglers that have high levels of lead, perhaps.
Yeah, a lot of people using tube jigs.
That's right. Where you? How have you been? Where you at? Are you up in Wisconsin today, or are you traveling?
Nope, I'm actually in my basement right now, right outside of Minocqua, so about 30 miles east of our facility in Park Falls. So
nice.
If my internet gets a little sketchy, we've been so hot in the Midwest for the last couple of days, and we've had random storms, and got another one that's going to show up tonight. But it's been hot for us, is in the low 90s, and I mean we've been hot, like it's been hot.
Right. Have you been able to do a little fishing?
Yes, yeah. Fishing has been really good. We had a really weird spring, and then fish went shallow to do their thing, and then we got cold. Some stayed, some backed out. It really screwed up the crappie spawn, northern Wisconsin, northern Minnesota. So there was some false spawns there. So
what do you mean when the crappie spawn gets screwed up? Like what happens?
So the official report from the DNR is that we're going to find a lot of crappies this year that have like spawn in them, and like if you're keeping fish and you're cleaning fish, they're going to still have eggs in them, and throughout the year you're going to still see fish that have eggs in them, and the crappies are going to they're going to absorb the eggs.
Yep.
Yeah, they're just not going to go for it. And some, randomly, some lakes were better than others. I mean, our water temperatures went really crazy. I mean, they were in the upper 50s for a really extended period of time. And in the last 2 weeks, maybe even less than that, like 10 days. I mean, we've hit upper 70s now. Like it was just boom, everything happened all at once. And we had an adequate snow year,
Sure.
but the lakes have been super low, just because we didn't have the snow that we typically do in northern Minnesota and northern Wisconsin. And I think those lower lake levels kind of added to the spike in water temperatures. But other than that, it's been a good spring. I mean, low. It's been a good spring. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, sure.
There's a lot of good reasons to fish.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Yeah. Man, well, I'm glad you were able to join us tonight. We wanted to definitely dig into, some of the new stuff coming out with St. Croix, right?
We're going to dig into one new one tonight that you guys are going to get. We're actually I think this is like leaking this before it officially gets released.
Oh,
so.
That's awesome.
That's
okay. That's fair. Well, you're the boss, so
well, it's a good one. So yeah, we got a lot to talk about tonight. So
very good. Very good. Yeah, I've been as most of the viewers know, love St. Croix rods, so many different applications. One of the things I wanted to talk to tonight, someone that is looking, to get a rod for a specific, I mean, you guys make rods for pretty much every fish that swims in fresh water.
We do. Yeah. We're actually pretty involved in saltwater too.
Saltwater. Yep.
Yeah, we do well in inshore. We service a lot of anglers in inshore and also surf rods as well.
Sure.
We start getting into bigger boats, the offshore deal. We don't play there yet, but yeah, we're a multifaceted company.
Right.
So we get labeled a lot as a bass company, but really we're a multi-species company.
Absolutely. When you go on the St. Croix website and you click on the tab for rods, there's a ton of options. Where does one start? Like what advice do you have for someone that's looking? Let's say I want to pick up a Ned rig rod. I get asked that all the time. What type of rod? What do you like in a Ned rig rod? You have a lot of different rods that will work for a Ned rig. So how does one navigate that when they're looking at purchasing a new rod?
Well, my suggestion is that we have right on the other side of the wall from my office, we have 20 people that are standing by day in, day out in northern Wisconsin to help you. It's called our Guide Center. Now they're there to help you with warranties. If have a car door happen, if something happens on the water, our objective is to get you back on the water as fast as possible. But there's a lot of very fishy people in there. So for example, when the local bass club, when fish on Tuesdays and Thursday nights, there's a ton of boats in the parking lot because, I mean, it's kind of a prerequisite to work in that room. You got to fish.
Sure.
There's a lot of saltwater minded people. There's a lot of fly minded people in there as well. My suggestion to anybody is, it's especially like for a Ned rig rod, or if you're just getting into the sport of bass fishing before you get crazy, you can't go wrong with medium. Like, you can do pretty much anything with a medium or a medium heavy rod. It's what kayak anglers thrive off of that don't have the storage like we do in 20, 21 foot bass boats. You can get a ton done with a medium or medium heavy fast rod.
Sure.
Depends on if you want to fish a spinning rod or a casting rod. We find obviously spinning is more versatile. You'd be surprised the amount of fish that I hear of that are caught on a frog with a spinning rod. But just in general, I mean, get a rod like you like your steaks. Don't get too crazy unless you know what you want to order.
Sure. That makes sense. I know just going through the different, I guess, variations of rods, just on the bass side.
Yep.
I feel like sometimes anglers can get a little overwhelmed, especially if they're not familiar with the company. You have
totally get overwhelmed.
Super high-end rods. You have introductory lines. You got it, and everywhere in between, and multiple different, I guess, categories.
Yep.
For lack of better terms.
So basically where we start at Bass X for bass anglers, kind of at that entry level price point for us, which is like right around $125 now. And then all the way up to $600+ with Legend Extreme. The thing is as you progress up, you're just going to get lighter. And you'll see with our pricing strategy as a company, you rarely see us run like crazy blowout 2-for-1 type crazy sales. And that keeps the secondary market pretty good if somebody wants to say, get to know St. Croix at the Bass X level and then want to get a little more premium in their rod choice. And then they can escalate up the line and rods will get lighter, rods will get more sensitive. You can really geek out on the guides. If you want to start at Bass X, that's got a really durable hybrid guide platform on. But if you jump up, say you go to Mojo Bass, for example, you're going to a titanium guide platform. Or like with Victory, you're going to one of the lightest rods that we've ever created with Victory. And it was the lightest rod in our lineup, lighter than SC5, until the rod that I'm going to show you guys tonight came along. So a little foreshadow there. But you can get a really, really nice premium rod for us for around that $180 to $225 price point. And that gets you in where we stand behind it for 15 years. That gets you into premium components. It kind of, we see people that are intimidated in the beginning. They usually start out with Bass X, and then all of a sudden they're hunting you down at the next Bassmaster class. And they're like, hey, took a risk. And now I've got a legend tournament. Wow. I'm going to replace all my rods with blue rods now.
Sure.
So,
Yep. Nope. That's how that works. Devin in the comments goes something like Bass X versus Black Bass versus Premier.
Yeah.
Kind of confusing. A lot of rods fairly close in price point.
Yep. So that's a great question. And what you're seeing with Black Bass is we put a set of titanium guides on Mojo in model year 2024. We changed the handle over to Trigon 1. And because of the offering that we did, or the upgrades we did to Mojo changed price point. There was always the plan to backfill into that $150 price point and be super competitive there. And that's what really drove the creation of Black Bass. And really since day one of releasing Black Bass, it's been kind of an overnight success. Again, it kind of came back in. It was a new identity to that price point. A lot of people were kind of wishy-washy on the color of Mojo. And a lot of anglers had asked us, hey, why don't you guys build a grayscale rod or a black rod or black and white rod? And that was the time to bring in Black Bass. So really change in Mojo set the stage for Black Bass to swoop in, which has a huge listing, including 2-piece rods. Which is, it may sound odd to some of you that I mentioned that, but we all in the fishing space, we were talking about COVID for years. And now we get amongst fishing people that are in the industry, everybody's talking about tariffs. And COVID really is something that is kind of in the rear of your mirror. However, post-COVID, 2-piece rods absolutely exploded as far as the demand for them, and it hasn't come back or hasn't regulated. So for you guys that are taking chances and going out and with the convenience of a 2-piece rod, give us a look. We've been building 2-piece rods for a really long time. We're one of the first ones to go with build carbon fiber ferrules, and Black Bass has 2-piece rods in it. And they're some of the most popular 2-piece SKUs we offer.
Sure. Well, I should mention too, and I apologize for not doing it earlier. Could you talk about your role with St. Croix and how you got involved in them? Because obviously your wealth of knowledge, I don't think there's anything, knows more about St. Croix rods than yourself, because that's kind of why you're there, right?
Well, kind of, yeah. I do have a pleasure of working with the Schluter family, and they know more about the history of St. Croix than I do. But they're kind of in the twilight of their careers. They're enjoying the success in the business and what they've kind of put onto us to grow to next. But my role at St. Croix, it kind of came from an odd direction. I grew up in southwestern Wisconsin. I fished heavily in the Mississippi River, pool 8, 9, 10, 11, 7, going the other direction, all the way up to 4, 5, and 5A. And then I also fished Great Lakes as well growing up. And then graduated from college for some crazy reason. I had this goal. I wanted to work for a Fortune 500 company. Looking back, I'm like, that is the dumbest goal, most open-ended goal. And I did for a really long time. And I kind of missed having a life where fishing was involved. So I knocked on St. Croix's door long enough that they actually called on me to run their factory store. So moved my family in northern Wisconsin, ran our factory store, had a blast there, had a great team, got to know St. Croix, got to understand the tackle side and the business side of the fishing space. And then moved into St. Croix's first product manager. There wasn't an owner. And then now I'm the vice president of product and innovation. So
Sure.
My team is, again, when I start out all my presentations, either if I'm talking to a retailer or talking to you guys, I'm just the guy that gets to come on Smallmouth Crush and talk to you guys. There's so many more people behind the scenes than me, an engineering team. And I've got an engineer I work with that's got 30 years of experience. I've been in his office when some of the most famous rod builders literally in the world have called and asked him for advice. Like, he's super humble. You'd never notice it. His name is Jason Brunner. If you're a rod builder in this group tonight, his name tends to be pretty famous amongst the rod building community. Got a really good group of people that I get a chance to work with in northern Wisconsin every day that helps us develop projects like I'm going to show you tonight.
Sure. Well, you've piqued my interest. I don't know if we want to start talking about that just yet. I mean, if you're ready,
I'm looking forward to this for months, Travis. Like,
right?
this series is the deal. Like, it's so, guys, to build it, pretty solid and start out right from the beginning. We haven't really introduced a new carbon fiber, which is a big thing for St. Croix. If you look at St. Croix and you're getting ready to buy your first St. Croix or maybe your fifth St. Croix, when you look at the blank, it says SC on it. And that's super, super technical. It stands for St. Croix. Like, literally, people call us and ask us, what's SC stand for? It's supposed to be some code word. Yes, it's code for St. Croix. Yep. But the number that follows is the generation of carbon fiber that the rod is made out of. So there's some SC1 rods that are still out there. We still use SC1. So that was our first generation of carbon fiber. SC2. Okay. SC2 is stuff you'd find like in not in black bass, in Bass X. You'll find it in Triumph, which is our #1 selling series. You'll find it in Premier. Premier, it's been around since 1965. The series has essentially saved the company. That and Imperial fly rods at one point in time. SC3, that's your Mojo Bass. That is black bass. And then we go into SC4 Plus. SC4 Plus is a combination of SC4, 4th generation carbon fiber, and SC6. XC6 is a mistake. It always has been a mistake. It was developed as the next latest and greatest carbon fiber, but on its own, it was way too brittle for us to ever build a rod out of. It would have never held up to what you guys put it through in a day. We've got SC5. SC5 is Legend Extreme. Legend Elite. It's really, really light. It's got a carbon fiber scrim to it. And then we kind of went dark for a while. And then model year 2022, we brought out Victory. And Victory punched well above its weight class. It is super, super light. SC3 is SC3 carbon fiber with SC6 in it as like a supplementary. So it can make it much lighter. And then we went dark again. We went dark until about 2 years ago. And we kind of all got together and we're like, okay, we got to get back on this and develop a new carbon fiber. But there were some boxes that we had to check. So there's a lot of really light rods out in the fishing space. And you can build really light rods, but they have to be durable. And durability can come from a lot of different ways. It can come from just lots of material, which tends to make things lighter. It can come from blank designs. But what if you take all those things and you put them into one and you develop the next greatest carbon fiber that St. Croix ever produced, which is the 7th generation of St. Croix, SC7. So
SC7.
SC7. Yep. It is our lightest carbon fiber we've ever released. Our sales force found out about it 2 weeks ago. I told our ambassador team about it about 4 days ago now, but we kept it under wraps pretty significantly at St. Croix for a really long time. There's been some people that have fished it kind of disguised in other different rod series just because we've tested it for internally, we've tested it for about 36 to 48 months. And then outside of St. Croix with other people who've had it in their hands for about 24 months now in order to get it to this point. And it is ridiculously light and it is super, super durable. To put it in perspective, if you guys have SC5 rods, so like Legend Elites, I'm not even going to go Legend Extreme because Legend Extreme, because of the handle configuration, tends to be a little heavier than Legend Elites. But the series that I'm going to show you tonight is about, on average, it's about 10% lighter than SC5. That's a lot. Yeah, it's a lot in the rock world. The series on average is about 5 to 10% lighter than Victory, which was super, super light and is super, super light by all means. So
sure. Wow.
Yeah. The basis behind the rod series, it has a lot of characteristics of a surf rod, which sounds crazy when you think about the biggest rod in the series that I'm going to talk to you about is 7'6". We developed this piece of technology for surf rods back in model year 2022 with a series we put out called Siege. And Siege, we took on this challenge from our surf anglers because if you ever spend time around a surf angler, they're ridiculously hard on their rods, and it's awesome to fish with them. Okay. But they have a lot of external impacts on their rods. And we use some technology from that carbon fiber in this because we drop things on our rods. We close lid lockers on them. I tank the end of my jerkbait rod on my graph stack on my boat constantly now, trying to keep it in line with the cone.
Yep.
Do that on the trolling motor head all the time, rub rails, boat cleats, all that different type of stuff.
Sure.
So
yep.
External impacts happen. All right. There's some technology in here from ice rods. All in all, it all came out. So
wow.
Yeah.
I'm just go ahead. I'm just taking some notes. We got some good comments coming in. I once the timing's right here, I'll definitely ask you about that. But
yeah,
talk to me about how did this whole thing, are you just in a monthly meeting one day and you're like, hey, how do you come up with this new lineup and just the whole process to, okay, let's make it lighter. Let's figure out a way. Where does that all start?
So like I mentioned, there's a whole bunch of boats in the parking lot. There's a bunch of us that are just kind of fishing geeks that are like, okay, let's make the next rod lighter. Let's make it stronger. Let's make it more durable. We have what's called a Blue Sky group. So Blue Sky group, it's not just made up of engineers. It's made up of lots of different people. We bring in special guest members from our retail members all over. And we think about okay, what if? And then we challenge engineering. We challenge our carbon fiber supplier that we work with. The carbon fiber suppliers that we work with operates heavily in the aerospace business. And don't get me wrong, we can't tell them, we can't consume as much carbon fiber as the military does. But what we can do is we can work with them and give them our own formulations and they'll build us whatever we want. It's like a buffet of carbon fiber. Now, we have a long-standing relationship with these folks. It's really benefited us. We're kind of the little guy in the group, but that carbon supplier, their ownership, their engineers, their people love to fish too. So they're always trying to help us create lighter carbon fibers, which is a lot of fun. It's just the crazy thing is that what makes the fishing space really fun to work in, and I don't care if it's St. Croix or any of the other major competitors that we have, everybody pretty much gets along. There's some people that'll try to be like outlaws and, really tough guys. And hopefully over time, those edges get kind of sanded down, but everybody gets along and everybody's just trying to push each other to the next level of there'll be another hats off. I will completely comment positively on one of our competitors with Shimano when they brought out the Adrena Ultima. You can't be an angler and be in my role or be in another role inside of a rod company and not look at that rod and be like, holy cow, that's pretty darn cool. Even though we have 7, the reel brand, I'm still you're going to find tonight, I still got reels from other guys. I mean, it's just fun. It's when someone like me gets stuck in their own world and thinks that we're the greatest and we're the best and we can't do anything wrong. That's when somebody needs to replace me, because it's my job and my role to push the fishing industry forward, just like it's, boat builders' roles to build faster bass boats or new bass boat companies or that's the greatest thing in this space.
Yeah. I often, this kind of brings up a good point. And then we're going to transition to bring, I see Epic Eric joined us, but MJ has a question. He goes, he has no idea. And I thought about this. I think about this with a lot of tackle companies and different baits that are up. But how does the fish industry support so many rod companies? And I feel like us as bass anglers, yes, it's a small majority, but the number of anglers people fish every house. I mean, not every, but there's most people own fishing rods.
Yep.
Right.
Absolutely. Guys, there's rod companies in China, and I have no idea who they're building for or whatever, but I can confidently tell you because I've seen their facilities, but they're building 1 million rods a month, 1 million fishing rods a month. Like if you think about it, it's absolutely daunting that you can think that we would buy all those rods, let alone that many rods or like circle themselves out of the marketplace. So either get dropped in lakes, stepped on, crushed over, lost, forgotten, whatever. But I mean, I can remember being on spring break, like in Melbourne, Florida, and seeing like a pile of surf rods in the garbage can of tourists that went home and then broke all their rods because they bought a rod for the weekend to be able to cast off the beach.
Wow.
You know, like there's an incredible consumption of fishing rods out there. But the other neat thing is that it's one of the greatest things of the fishing industry because everybody's kind of got their rod company, and our goal and my product either in your rod locker, leaning in the corner of your garage, wherever you store your bass rods. Like we want to earn our spot to be in there. And we keep doing that time and time again and keep striving to earn that space. Then, that's all we can wish for.
Sure. Eric, welcome.
What's up?
Eric, we got Ryan with St. Croix with us.
Ryan, how you doing, man?
Good, and how are you?
Good. I was throwing a St. Croix today, man.
Nice.
The 8-footer medium action. I guess it's the inshore one. It's like a turquoise color.
Nice. Avid inshore.
That's a fantastic rod, man. I've got it on a twin power Shimano.
Twin power.
Man. Spooled up because you never know down here. Threw in a tarpon today.
Nice.
Really, the water down here in Nags Head, I'm on the Outer Banks, and the east wind has been blowing, and the Gulf Stream's only about 5 miles offshore, so it blows in all sorts of crazy fish.
Were you fishing from a boat or were you fishing from shore?
I was fishing from a pier.
From a pier? Oh, man.
So I signed in as the pier rat. I love pier fishing because, you're up. Right?
Oh, absolutely.
And I mean, you see everything, and sometimes you see them coming from a mile away. I mean, the water can get dirty if a west wind blows, but it's been clear since I've been here, and it's been spectacular. Spanish mackerel bite's been on fire. Large bluefish for the past 2 years have showed back up in the Outer Banks, anywhere from 6 to 15 pounds. And on a 8-foot medium action rod, I also throw 7-footers. It's just a blast. I mean, and these packs of bluefish sometimes are in the hundreds, and sometimes it's a pack of 5, like a wolf pack. And when one bites, they all just go nutty. They lose their mind. So it's been a lot of fun. I love it. The magic of the ocean.
Is it busy on the pier?
So at the end of the pier, you've got a couple things going on, Travis. You probably got 15 anglers on average. On the weekends, maybe 20, but you'll have several guys on each corner. So here's the end of the pier.
Yeah.
And on the north and south corner, directly facing the ocean at the very end of the pier, you guys, they're pin rigging, live lining bluefish generally as a bait, and they're fishing for king mackerel or cobia. Today, somebody caught a tiger shark, an actual tiger shark. It was about 5 foot, but I mean, you could see the tiger markings on it. It was pretty cool. Awesome. Didn't land him. I mean, the leader broke. I guess he had 80-pound fluoro. That's no match for a shark. But the king mackerel fishing is just spectacular. The other day, I saw a king mackerel knock an 8-pound to 10-pound bluefish 5 feet in the air, and the king just skied. It gets crazy. It's cool. So you got the pin riggers on the end, and then you've got guys like me throwing either bucktails for cobia or gotcha plugs, which are a full ounce. So it's basically a shovel nose lead head, Travis, a plastic body, and 2 gold treble hooks. And it does a walk the dog action underwater. So you see this thing walking the dog through the water column, and Spanish mackerel love pink. And so I modify a electric chicken, which is basically pink on top, chartreuse full body, half and half. I scrape off all the chartreuse and I leave one little line of chartreuse on the side. So it's a sexy pink, put a couple black polka dots on it. And it's on, man. I love it. It's fun.
Gotcha.
Yeah. And the Spanish, when they hit it, I think their burst speed's like 35 miles an hour, and they're just like little silver missiles, man. It's just like you see them slashing, and sometimes you'll be gotcha plugging, you're jerking your rod like this to get that action, walk the dog, and all of a sudden you'll go to plug, and you're just plugging air. They slice through 30-pound fluoro like it's nothing.
Wow.
Yeah. So you're donating some plugs to the ocean, but it's a blast.
Right.
I love it.
I gotcha.
Yeah, fun times.
Some people in the comments are saying the pier fishing reminds them perhaps of the salmon river fishing when the salmon come up in Pulaski.
Yeah.
And it's a crowd. I don't know. It's
It
I
can
mean,
get a little goofy. On one side of the pier, like the north side, a big school of bluefish came in. And it was a bunch of younger guys, and they got all excited. And I watched from behind. I didn't want to really get in the fray. And it looked like a missile launch, but everybody cast it over everybody. It was like 15 plugs at once, just went in all different directions. It was like a missile launch. I was crying laughing, man, because when you get tangled, it's hilarious.
did you
But
did you tangle the rods? Does that happen?
uh,
Lines?
if you can cast right, you're
Yeah.
good on the front because you wait till you see where the two plugs line beside you. And, if you can hit a straight line, you're good. But
Uh-huh.
sometimes the wind, like last year, I fought a king and it was blowing 20 to 25 all day. So you gotta play the wind and keep it straight. But no big deal if you cast over somebody, just walk over. You put your line over top of them, you're good. But a lot of times you
Uh-huh.
see some kooky stuff because when you're reeling up a big bluefish, you got to think. I'm locking down my drag with that 8 foot inshore, avid inshore, and I'm hauling. Some of those blues I caught this week were 6 to 7 pounds, and if I'm lifting them out of the water as I reel straight, now you can hand line them too, or you can put a net down or a gaff if they're really big, but
Uh-huh.
that plug will come loose and it flies up. So you don't be looking over the railing,
Oh
and then
geez.
you've got spectators that want to see and they get close and you got to watch behind you. It's a little bit of a kookiness, but a lot of times I've done
Uh,
well by just covering water, man. People sit
yeah.
down, there's nothing out there, and then you pull up the first Spanish and everybody rolls up. And then they get discouraged and they sit down. So it's just me and a couple guys on the rail.
Yeah.
Just
Are,
keep
are,
chucking, man.
I can tell you're like the guy though that would help get things untangled for someone that's struggling. I'm sure you've done that.
I do. A little kid cast over me like 4 times, and
Yeah,
he's
yeah.
like, "I'm really sorry." I'm like, "Dude, it's okay. Just wait." I said, "Keep coming. Come on, come on, come on, come on,
Uh-huh.
on down the rail."
I
Yeah.
so yesterday I had a perch trip and it was a grandpa with his 4 grandchildren, like 6 to maybe 11. And
Yeah.
it was
Oh wow.
four of these kids, right?
Oh my gosh.
So listen, dude, I was nervous. I know I can deal with kids and I know,
Sure.
and but they were actually and one never fished. Okay.
Oh wow.
So I'm sitting there. I'm
That's
just,
exciting.
first I'm kind of nervous, but we get into it. I know I'm going to be baiting and I thought I was just be baiting more than anything, but I was also kind of untangling and,
Sure.
here I am lined up with 4 kids. And when one catches a perch on one side, then they all think all 4 have to fish right
Oh.
here.
Oh yeah.
And they got, the Legend Elite panfish rods in their
Oh,
hands,
those are the
right?
best. The ones that
Okay,
the ones that you
so
wouldn't let me fish with when you and Matt Pangrek had them.
that's
I got
true.
the short end of the stick, Ryan. Never got the Legend
Oh
St. Croix
man.
panfish rod, but they let me take a couple casts. It's so
Sure.
sweet. Anyway, I love
But
those rods. Keep going.
anyway, so it was nonstop, and they didn't drop any rods in, but there was definitely some, and we were drop shotting right in about
Yeah,
25 feet of water. And so it
sure.
was a lot of, and those rods stood up. I mean, they can handle kids reeling all the way up to the tip.
Oh yeah.
I tried to grab it as quick as I could,
Ah,
but it just happens every time,
that's
right?
just a tip top. Come on. Yeah, we have a picture that is actually in our manufacturing facility right across from like our break room vending machines, and there's this guy on a beach with a Legend Elite panfish, 70 MLXF. He's got like a 3-foot black tip shark.
Oh, that's
next to him.
awesome.
He
No way.
caught it with his Legend Elite panfish.
That's so great. I would love to
Uh-huh.
bring one out here and try to catch a Spanish mackerel with it. I don't know if it could whip you'd probably have to lob it, or you could throw maybe like a little Clark spoon or drone spoon at him, but that would be fun, man,
Oh,
just to feel
totally.
it.
They're tough.
The Spanish are so fast. It's so thrilling. I got spooled by a tarpon 2 years ago out here, and literally it's just as the sun was coming up over the horizon. And Ryan, this I'm plugging and there's a lot of Spanish in the water at this point, right? So I've caught some Spanish, and I felt the strike, and then I looked out where my line was. There was a monster boil the size of my car hood, and I lost feeling of the fish. So he was coming towards the pier, so I real hot to catch up, and then he took off towards the ocean. Literally, like I could not
Told
stop
you.
my reel.
Oh, yeah.
Couldn't stop it. And
Yeah.
so he literally took me all the way down to 3 wraps of line with a little bit of backing on it. I grabbed the spool, and that fish, which was as long as me, like 6 foot, because there are 150 pounders that swim through here, jumped 10 feet out of the water and then landed like a body falling into the water. The whole pier erupted. It was thrilling.
Oh.
And then I fought one last year for about 20 minutes. It was about 85 pounds, we estimated. And we saw that fish. That fish porpoised a couple times, but bent the hooks on my gotcha plug. But I did land a king last year, which was really cool. That was
Nice.
about 35 pounds. So it was neat.
Very
That
Have
was
you,
a neat day.
either of you guys fish tarpon with scope in the boat?
With what?
Like with
Live
live scope?
No. I've only
No.
caught him. I've landed a tarpon on a fly rod down in the flats.
Yep.
But no, never. No,
Yeah.
back then it was just polling and using your eyes.
Oh yeah. Yeah. It's on perspective, it's super cool.
Oh, they show up, right?
Oh yeah. Yeah. And guys
Oh, man.
like down in the Keys are so reticent to do it because they got to hang these like giant because they're all using power drives. So they use like the poles over the side of their boats and they hate them. They absolutely hate them. But they're like, it's just too much fun not to do it. And a lot of people are using flats boats or using them now or using the perspective now too, especially because you don't have the same surface. You can get a good caster.
They don't have a
put it in
chance,
front
man.
of them.
Oh yeah. They don't have a chance. They're so big. Captain Scooter Lilly, who's my bass team tournament partner, he guides in the salt down on the Pamlico Sound. There are tons of tarpon, and he's got active target. And he's shown me some pictures of tarpon that are just they're monstrous. They just show up, nowhere to hide. Oh yeah, they've hooked a few. I don't know if they've landed any.
Oh, that's the point. Like, yeah, you just in there for the first 30 seconds.
Oh man, Silver King, you got to jam them. Like with a fly rod, I tied my own flies back then, and I had a shot at a flat slam. I landed the tarpon because we touched the leader, landed a bonefish, and I had a permit hooked, and I didn't land them. But the tarpon, you literally have to like give it to everything you got. Just Travis, you got to go, bam, like you're holding onto your fly rod, just jerking as hard as you can.
Why is it they're sort of protected, right? You can't keep a tarpon. What? But there seems like there's a lot of them. Why is that? Does anyone know?
Man, I don't know. They've been here for millions of years, like prehistoric.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know that there's any food value to it. It's strictly a game fish.
Yeah.
I mean, a creature. I mean,
can you bring them in a boat? Like you can take pictures with them, right?
At your peril. The guy that I was fishing with, he was a flats guide and he had a pole. He's poling with, I guess, 20-foot fiberglass pole. We're in shallow water. You can see these fish. And I wondered, I had beat the tarpon. The tarpon is literally laying on the side of the boat. And I'm waiting for him to put the gaff in the mouth and I want my picture. And the tarpon's sitting there and I'm like, Jose, what are you doing? And he's like, the tarpon gulped air, was down for the next 15-minute fight, literally 3 times. And finally he goes, last time I brought a tarpon in the boat, it pulled his shoulder out of socket because it's that heavy. It's a hand gaff that they use. And then literally, I think he'll say, you bring a tarpon in the boat. If you have a rod anywhere near it, it can be broken. They're just mad. This fish was as big as I was.
Yeah. No, I get it. I've never done it.
People do it. I mean, they'll wade in the water and hold them, you know. I mean, that's probably easier than trying to bring them, yank that big giant fish in a
Mark
boat
in the comments says it'd be like eating a giant shiner, perhaps.
Oh man.
Well, listen, Eric, before you jumped on, we're talking to Ryan about their new rod that's coming out, their SC7. And I don't know if you caught any of that or not, but
no, I didn't. No,
we were kind of just getting started on the discussion. Do you have can we get a sneak peek of that rod? You got there it is.
So there's a lot to talk about here yet.
Yeah.
All right. So you want to get back into it?
Let's go.
All right.
Bring it.
Right away, you're going to notice different handle. Okay. So you saw Trigon in model year 2024, which essentially stands for like a triangular handle. But we heard back from anglers and now there's a second version of it. Now, if there's any of you on the call here that we're big fans of Trigon 1, don't worry. There's not going to be this big wholesale change to any other series like Physics or Mojo Bass, but this is kind of the culmination of a whole bunch of pieces of feedback. And the spinning rod, the foregrip is half the size. It's also I'll try to show it here. It's also mega narrowed right towards the front. So yeah. So basically, if you fish all in front, like I do, you got a really easy finger on the blank. If you fish one behind, I don't have monstrous hands, but you can get a finger on the blank, and then your other finger nestles into this like little chamber right here.
Okay.
If you split your hand like this, you've got, maybe you could reach it with your index finger, but it's still going to be a little bit difficult if you split them. But so that's the new Trigon handle. The other thing you can't see here, we on Physics released a carbon fiber reel seat, but the cosmetic theme for Physics was very matte. So there's like a protective coating over this. This reel seat is no doubt, this is carbon fiber. You would take it out in the sun. It's got this really like cool hologram effect to it, but it's an incredibly rigid carbon fiber reel seat. And then the other part is the rear trigger.
Look at that.
The rear trigger is now in cork. So this we had to use a very special cork supplier for this. This guy actually comes out of the fly space with this project. So it's got the popular rear trigger on the back of it. And that is all for casting accuracy with a spinning rod.
Yeah.
So this is the new rod. You can see right here. It's Legend X2. So it's the reimagination of Legend X. And you see it's got a new decal format on it as well.
Yep.
So we did a little bit of customer research over the last 2 years, and we found out with freshwater guys, the most important thing you're looking for is length, power, and action. So line and lure ratings, some people take them as gospel, but it's a little dirty secret of the fishing space. It's just recommendations. Okay. You can deviate outside of that. Like one of the dirty little rumors that got spread around about St. Croix is that we somehow can tell that you threw like an ounce on your rod that's only weighted or recommended to like 7/8 of an ounce, and we won't honor your warranty. No, that's not the case. There's no way there's no way anybody could figure that out. So in the freshwater, the new label has length, power, and action, so it's easy to find, like in your rod locker or sitting on the deck of your boat.
Oh, very cool.
Or
that's smart.
When we use this label in saltwater, it's got line rating. So saltwater line rating is the major descriptor that people are looking for. So other than that, here's the other piece that I want to bring attention to. Other than the Mooch Minnow, all of these rods are coming with a Fuji Easy Keep. So, because if there's things that you won't make people happy with ever, and it's wherever you put the hook keeper. Somebody always wants it in a different place. So it does not have a hook keeper attached to it. It comes with original, genuine Fuji Easy Keep. So if you're a kayak angler and you want to holster the rod in the kayak, you can put the keeper up here. Or if you want to put it back here like I have it, or if you want to put it all the way back, wherever you want to put the hook keeper.
Why do you got it back there, man? That's so wrong.
I know. See? I know. I get somebody jumping on this and being like, what are you doing? Well, you can put it wherever you want. So if you're not familiar with Fuji Easy Keep, it pops down, so it goes away. But this is kind of a no-brainer, man. If you go on that
I have a few of those. I like those.
Fuji Easy Keeps are the deal. Once you start using them, they're absolutely sick. So
they are good.
In the spinning rod, I do believe we have the ultimate Ned rig rod. We built a 7.3 MF. It's specifically really good for fishing little finesse jigs, but it's fantastic Ned rig. I'm a devout Ned rig fisherman. The power Ned with a 5th ounce head, that's kind of like my go-to as a smallmouth angler. But we've got a 7.3 MF. There's a whole bunch of length, powers, and actions. If you're familiar with the St. Croix portfolio, there's some originals that have always been in our portfolio that are obviously a part of this. But we actually don't have the 710 rods in the spinning lineup. We actually went back to 7'6" in length. And the reason that we did it is with the new material. The new material dampens a lot quicker than any other carbon fiber that we've had. And you will actually see that these 7.6s will cast further than the 710s will when you're throwing a hairball. Like if you're throwing a hair jig, these will, again, that's a little bit of that surf rod stuff that when you cast, you put so much energy in your rod down that it has to, for every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. So the rod has to come back up, and then you'll see a normal rod continue to go like this, like especially in slow motion photography. With SC7, it comes back to straight a lot faster. So your line has a much straighter trajectory out, which you get, you can recover that casting distance that you may have lost with that extra 4 inches, which really, isn't that much, or extra
physics.
6. Yep.
So it's extra fast action.
Yep, 7, and then there's a 7.6 medium moderate fast in the lineup as well. That's it's been my Okashira rod. A lot of guys are shaking
Okashira.
Sakamadas on it too. Which 7.6 for me is a little long for a shaking rod, but that's just my personal preference.
Yep.
And then there's a spinning 610 MXF. That's actually the one I had in my right over here that I'm pretty much shaking all my minnows with.
Okay, yeah. I went. I was a big fan of 7 foot, 7.6 for shaking a minnow. Right now, I'm using the Legend Elite and the 6.6.
You've gone shorter.
I did.
Oh yeah,
but I kind of like it. I kind of like it.
Totally agree. Yep. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I completely agree. There's a 6.8 MXF to shake a lot with too in this lineup as well. Yeah, there's definite some advantage. If it's not too taboo to talk about live scope in here,
no, it's not.
You can talk.
This is a live scope show.
Nobody's gonna be knocking on my door later. Stay away, Randy.
Well, in the comments, somebody says Randy needs to start getting into the saltwater anglers and the tarpon guys. Man, they're wrecking the fishery.
You ever meet a saltwater guy? Yeah, Randy, be my guest. Go talk to those guys. Yeah, you'll end up getting eaten by a seal.
Davy Jones's locker is where you'll end
exactly.
up. Yeah, this is a live scope friendly show. I'm the brain scope of the show. Travis is the live scope. So you're right at home. This is the
live scope positive.
Nice. No, I'm the brain scope. I'm the brain scope guy.
Safe space for all that.
Safe space. Brain scope and live scope coexist here. Friendly. You want
so that's
old
really
school? We're cool.
You never know.
Right?
You never know anymore. It's like
no.
Get over it.
Yeah. We welcome all anglers, all natural anglers that want to do it that way. We welcome live scope machine guys. You're safe here.
Oh,
we are.
Right.
We
That's
are. Very exciting news. So I assume it's going to be really showcased at ICAST. And when can people probably find these at the retailers or online? And what is that?
August 1st.
Okay.
August 1st, right out of the gate. 8/1 is the go live for these. They'll be available. There's a ton of retailers I've had meetings with that are bringing them in. It's been a really fun series, and I haven't even talked about the casting rod yet.
Yeah, let's talk about it.
There's a casting rod in here, and I got I got that.
Nice.
I didn't even stage that. I didn't stage that, but nice. The casting rod. So if you look at casting rod, rear trigger.
Yeah.
Okay. But we also, compared to Trigon 1, we shortened up this about an inch. And then also we increased the profile right here in the handle a little bit compared to Trigon 1. Because if you have larger hands, if you have like medium to larger hands, you tend to lose the rod in your hand when you're working a jerkbait or you're working a frog. So we increased the diameter right here just ever so slightly, so you didn't lose that in your hand. But still, same label configuration. Still comes with the Fuji Easy Keep, even though I continue to hook everything on the bridge of my reel. But casting rods, there's some sweethearts in here too. My favorite one, 7.3 heavy moderate fast. I think it's the most slept on SKU in the St. Croix line of rods.
Why?
It's just a ridiculously good flipping rod.
Okay.
You can fish a big chatterbait or not. Well, you can fish a chatterbait with it in grass.
Yep.
But it's completely overkill if you're fishing a chatterbait in open water. But you can throw like a big square bill, like a SK 8.0.
Sure.
There's a 7-foot heavy fast frog rod. We've typically only had the 7.4 as our heavy fast frog rod, but there's a 7-foot frog rod, and then there's a casting 610 MXF rod. That's kind of like your Katana, or I think it works a little bit better in like your +2 jerkbaits than the 6.8 because it's a little more resistance against it. I think the longer rod helps a little bit of that bigger bill, or maybe some of the duo jerkbaits that pull a little harder than your regular 110s. Okay. There is a 7.3 medium heavy extra fast rod in there, which was destined to be the swim jig rod. There's some people that are throwing buzz baits on them.
Oh, nice.
Might have been in a Elite Series tournament that was won recently by St. Croix guy that might have had that rod. So it's there's some new SKUs in there that if you are familiar with what St. Croix does as far as our length, powers, and actions, there's some new ones in there you might get a kick out of.
Very good, man.
Very cool. I've got a challenge for you, Ryan. We've been talking about this since the first time you guys came on. So I've always wanted Travis to challenged him to go, okay, pick your 7. I call it the lucky
Oof.
7 for
Yep.
me in the back of the boat. So, and Travis, I want Travis to get them for me. I'll pay for them. I don't want them free. And so those are the rods I'll fish with when I'm up there. So I want to be able to drop shot. I want to be able to net. I want to be able to throw a chatterbait because I throw a lot of different things with Travis when I'm up there. I crank with Travis, right? I'm not just doing, football jigs and Ned rigs, right? I want to catch smallies winding.
Oh yeah,
Go ahead.
No, with that, you have creative ideas, and sometimes
Yes.
you can catch them.
Yeah,
But sometimes I put a beat down with the
do.
normal stuff.
Of course you would.
Throw a sniper jig. You're
Remember,
good.
I'm just using brain scope
7
back
foot
there.
medium Legend X, best sniper jig rod out there.
No
and go
question.
to
I've seen
town.
it. You've let me do it. I love that rod. But Ryan, I want the best 7 all around. If I was largemouth fishing anywhere in the country, smallmouth fishing anywhere in the country,
Lucky 7.
best 7. Limit me to
Pretty
7.
good.
I gotta have spinning rods, and because I love a spinning rod as much as I love a bait caster. So
Yeah.
just total junk cranks to top waters to. I would love to know because you've mentioned. I mean, your rods.
That would
And
be
I know Travis
interesting.
knows the
I
rod,
bet
but
you.
it would be really.
I mean, I don't want to put Ryan on the spot, but I
Yeah.
bet you could name all 7 right now for sure.
Probably. Yeah, I probably could. It's changed a little bit though. I mean,
That's what I'm saying with the new entries. I want you just talked about the best Ned rig rod is that's got to be one, right?
know,
You talked
but-
about a 7.3 that's buzz bait and chatterbait. And
But the
then,
problem is now
ahead.
with 7 rods, you have to think, okay, it may be the best Ned rig rod, but is this versatile enough that we can include these techniques instead of adding another rod to that
That's
arsenal?
what I'm saying.
Right.
It
You know what I
really is a
mean?
challenge to limit yourself to that number because I feel like if I'm a co and a BFL, I don't fish tournaments like that. I just do teams. But if I'm traveling, it'd be neat to just fish those with Travis. Just have them ready to go.
You can get most things done with like 6. I mean,
Okay.
you could do most things. Like you could do 7-1 medium heavy fast,
Yep.
7-3 medium heavy fast, 7-5 medium heavy fast. That's going to cover most of your casting applications.
Sure.
Your non-finesse applications. Then you switch it over to the spinning side and you go, it's hard to not have a 6.8 MXF. It's for this do around, do all, and then a 71 MF and a 71 MHF. Like you can probably do it all. And that's just taking it from what I've, all the kayak people that, are so limited on space. And
Sure.
they're dealing with 7 rods or 3 holders on both sides of them in the back.
They got 6.
Yeah. I mean, I challenge, there's some darn good kayak anglers out there that
There are.
they can put a whooping on you with only 2 different link powers and actions in their boat. Like don't mess with some of them. So
fair point, man. We'll call it the 6-6. That's tough to say.
Especially if you
6-6.
could if you could have that 7'5" medium heavy fast rod and then run mono on it for a crankbait.
Oh yeah. I like a long
Like 12 or 12 to 16 mono. I think that would save your rear end a lot with a crankbait too.
Oh, I could throw just about any crank on that. Balsa wood to big plastic square bills for sure.
Yep.
Okay.
Interesting.
Travis, did you write all those down?
Yes. Before I forget, we do have a couple questions that I want to make sure. And if you, David, you had a question, Lee, and there was another one. I'm going to try to find it here. Give me a second.
Hey, Travis, I saw a question. I saw a question in the chat over here.
Yep.
That somebody was like, I must have been a huge Ken Duke fan because of my haircut. I would totally if I could give that guy a high five,
right.
You fit in really well in Park Falls. Because everybody gives me a hard time about my hair because it's just like the thing. And trust me, man, if I had hair back, like all you guys that have hair and you didn't lose it, like the genetics didn't kick you in the rear end.
Right.
Just do something cool with it before it's gone. Like I always think about the cool shit that I do with it now. Oh,
it's a good tip. Who would have thought we'd got a tip like that tonight?
Honestly, that's smart to think about.
I just do something. Dye it. Do
something.
I got a 9-year-old son. He's always got cool stuff shaved in the side of it.
Right.
Yeah. Do that again. Nobody see it because it's gray now.
I
think Ken Duke's got one. I And I know Ken Duke, so I don't
Sure,
think he'll
sure.
take any
Oh, he
offense to
loves
that.
it. Well, I mean, just
No.
tune into Bass After Dark. They have bad comments, so
Oh,
everybody is
totally.
definitely they're all in on it.
That is
amazing
some of
the
the
amount of people
funniest
that-
stuff I read.
It's amazing
Dude,
the amount
Is
of
the
people
Bass
that
After Dark.
don't know that I know Ken Duke, and they'll be coming up to me and they're like, "Oh, man, that guy's kind of creepy." I'm like, yeah, he is. No, he's not. He's one of the nicest guys in the fishing space.
He totally is. I talk to him all the time. Ken Duke, and Ken Duke knows everybody. It's crazy.
He does.
Oh,
He
yeah.
He
does
is
know.
so and he's so generous with his connections. You know, he will introduce you
is.
to anybody. He wants to see everybody do well in this business. He's a
That
great
that whole
ambassador for
Bass
the
After
sport.
Dark with BTC, that's a good
Oh,
group.
yeah.
Like those
It's a-
guys. I've had a couple iCast after hours with those guys. It's a pretty good
man.
group. So
That's
Sure,
awesome.
sure.
That's a privilege right there.
yeah,
Good conversation, I bet.
yeah.
So David in the comments goes, he picked up a Victory 710 MMF
Yes.
and he's throwing lightweight jigs on it. What would you suggest to throw on that rod?
Oh, man, we can have some fun. Like
Okay.
definitely no Kashira. Totally. And you can
Yep.
throw like a 4-inch Sparky on the back or the really small impact, the 2.8.
2.8.
Not the fat impact, but the skinny impact. Like that's a really, really, really good rod for that. You can throw. It was actually developed for spy baits. Like that was the big one for it. The 80 spy or spin, whatever you want to call it. I've heard of people throwing hair on it as well. I know that there are some people out in California. More people go to the 710 medium light extra fast than the 710 medium moderate fast. But float and fly, that there's been a couple St. Croix guys that have won on the West Coast doing float and fly with that rod. I mean,
Very cool.
It's pretty versatile. And you can really reach out and touch somebody.
I wonder if we could catch him on a float and fly in the shallows up in Ontario.
I don't know.
Eat it. I want to try it.
They would. I've bought the I've done years ago. I got a little box called Float and Fly, and I bought there's these clear bobber things.
Yeah.
And I don't whatever.
The casting bubble.
Yes.
I want to use a casting bubble.
I mean that's not that was part of it because I thought of other applications.
Yeah.
Like a mayfly hatch, but I never got around to it. But David, no,
understand as well.
Yep. Yeah, I agree with everything Ryan said. I use mine. The 710, the Victory 710 for me is basically designated for spy baits. And when I get into a pinch, I will throw a small swim bait on that as well. Also, that's what I would throw, which I don't do too much, and I probably should get back to it, but like an inline spinner. So rooster tail, a Meps, which
beetle spin.
Yeah.
Don't forget about the beetle spin that won the morning.
I know. I remember.
Dude.
I remember.
Oh man.
It 3 guys on the boat. The beetle spin that I taught, ready to go. Travis's drop minnow. Number 3 gold blade. Oh my gosh. With a VMC lead head, man. Oh my gosh.
Oh man. Meps is just down the road from me in Anago, Wisconsin.
Yep.
You get if you're in northern Wisconsin, you cannot miss their ads in the fall when they're asking people, they're like buying squirrel tails from people and chunks out of people's deer and stuff like that.
That's crazy.
I think the going rate for a squirrel tail was like $7 last fall.
Oh, I thought it was $1.
No, man.
Travis,
Everything's
you need to go squirrel
tariffs.
We got straight black squirrels here too. Give them a different look.
Oh, yeah, I know.
All black squirrels. Yeah, it's like a weird. One island is littered with them out here.
Give them a different look.
Dude. $7. 100 squirrels, $700.
Telling you, kids have different priorities these days. There's just not a lot of tailless squirrels running around.
Plus dinner.
Catch and release.
Catch and release.
Clip and release.
They grow back. They grow back.
Listen, I just need half of it.
All right. I saw another one in here. Let me see if I can find it by Lee. What did Lee have to say? You know, we didn't talk too much about the real lineup, you know, the 7. And I would like to hit a little bit about that because we did have a question on that from Lee, and now I can't find it. Give me 1 second.
So there is obviously at ICAST this year, there will be a lot of activity from Seven, actually. Some on the saltwater side, but there is an aluminum body bait caster that's going to come out. GXC, it's the extension. It's the partner of the GXS spinning reel. So you guys will see that. It's got a really unique, I didn't have it on here tonight because I didn't want to steal my product manager's thunder to share it to you guys, but there is it's got a unique handle that one of our industrial designers worked on. It's got a hook keeper actually built inside the handle. It's kind of cool.
Whoa. How about that?
It's different. Yep.
I think Lee wanted you to kind of sell him on 7 reels versus, Shimano or Daiwa.
Yeah.
I think that was kind of the question. Why should he give that a look?
Yeah. So the big thing is I'm not gonna sit in here and try to schmooze everybody and try to sell you on 7 like we've been in the game for as long as those guys haven't, because we haven't. We've got a good start. We're in a really good direction with which the brand is going, but we're making very strategic moves in what we do on the reel side. One of the big things that you'll find, and it's some people take it differently than others, but I promise you there is no smoke and mirrors behind it, is if you have an issue with your 7 right now, we're not going to have you hunt down a repair shop. You call up our customer guide center and they replace it. Like you're not going to send it to us. You're not going to have to go. You're not have to wait for parts. We just replace it under the warranty program. So that's the way that we've decided to make our, one of the pieces of the brand. And that's the way it's going to go forward. The other thing I can tell you, and I'm not going to speak ill of any other reel companies, because as you can see here, I had 2 competitors' reels on here with this Sterling Silver Tatula and the Steez. I will tell you that 7 is going to be the premium bearing brand. If you're not going to buy a 7 reel and then say, oh, I'm going to put set of Bocas in this, it's not going to be that way. We're coming out of the gate with one of the criticisms we got right at the beginning was our reels were pretty fast, so that you had to dial them back a little more than what you did on other brands. And I think that speaks to just the bearing that we're putting in. You're not going to have to upgrade a bearing in a 7 reel. And then finally, we're the carbon fiber handle brand. Everything that we have out right now on the casting side versus what is in, I can tell you the funnel that's coming out this year and coming out next year, we're the carbon fiber handle reel company. So I'm not going to try to, spiel you a bunch of marketing guy BS that those other reel companies are underqualified or anything like that. They're not. They're good brands, and all of us have fished them for a really long time. I continue to fish them. But my challenge is to everybody, specifically our price point baitcaster, the GF. When that was released, I kind of caught fire overnight and did really, really well. And there's a reason why. I would argue it's one of the better price point baitcasters that are out there. So give it a look. If not, keep us in mind when you're looking to buy your next reel, your reel after that, or your reel after that. Like I said in the beginning, our goal is to earn our spot in your boat.
Yep. I can say this. We drag a lot of football heads. I'm out there every day guiding, and there's 2 things that I just want to make a statement on. One is, I put the 7 spinning reel on that Victory 7-foot medium that we use for dragging, and it's held up. My customers love it. There's never any, they love it, and I love it. And another thing, just to talk about that Victory rod as well, you guys know, like, I get experienced anglers, I get guys that don't know a whole lot. We're banging rocks. I'm using these rods every day, and the Victory lineup, that 7-foot medium, that thing's caught thousands of fish, and it doesn't get beat up. The guys don't bend, it doesn't break. I've had some crazy stuff out there. Luckily, that thing just holds. It's a machine. And from a guiding perspective and someone that puts their equipment to the test, it's the perfect setup. So I'm just telling you personally, it's got the green light from me, the whole setup there.
Yeah, Victory was my first project that I saw from start to finish. And it's been exactly the name. It's been a huge victory for us.
Mhm.
You know, and I saw some comments in the chat, and I want to address them because it did replace AvidX. And you know, AvidX still one of my favorite rod series. Still a huge rod series fan by people. But what happened with AvidX and why it got replaced by Victory was when AvidX was released, it came out with the original micro guide platform, like the really, really small guides. And then you got braided fluorocarbon that started getting more popular. And then the micro guides, you just don't see those hardly ever anymore. The true micro guides. Now, that's not the name for a really small guide. A micro guide is a very small guide, but it has to fall underneath a certain size and below to be considered a micro. AvidX, unfortunately, with our retailer base, got the opinion and amongst a lot of anglers, got the opinion of being the micro guide rod, and it became no longer relevant, unfortunately. The blanks either went into Victory or they went into Avid Series Walleye or Avid Series Panfish. So the blanks are still around with the exception of a couple, I think, that got phased out. But yeah, still a great rod series. Still keep fishing them. And, you know, we'll do our best to, if you ever have a problem, you got to warranty it. We'll do our best to replace it with something that's as comparable as possible.
Gotcha. Yep. Wow. I'm trying to think what else we have. I think that was the other one. I think Big T in the comments was asking why you stopped selling AvidX.
Yeah. Yep. It's a pretty frequent question that we get.
What else we got here? I see Scott's new comment. What's the best bottom contact rod from St. Croix?
Physics, hands down.
Yeah.
It's got a handle that people either love or it's not for them. It's kind of like Legend Extreme. You're kind of into the handle, you're kind of not. But Physics is our most sensitive rod series, hands down. With all the control testing we do inside, without question, it's more sensitive than Legend Extreme, which is crazy when you think that Legend Extreme has AGS guides on it. But it's the rigidity of the carbon fiber handle. It's not the lightest rod that we make. But it is the most sensitive. It's crazy how sensitive that rod series has been. Just even from the get-go. It's a unique handle, being that it's so rigid with a carbon fiber molded handle. So that's where it can be people's favorites, or like, nope, it's not for me. The one thing that people have just unanimously liked about Physics was that rear trigger, and hence why the rear trigger came over to these rod series right here. It's just once you fish it, it's not a gimmick. It really is fun to be able to use it for casting accuracy. That comes from the surf side.
Sure. Devin asks, on a jerkbait fishing on a casting rod, are you more moderate or extra fast?
Extra fast. I try to fish a jerkbait with as light a line as possible. And I've just found the light a line, I mean, like 6, 8, maybe 10. I've found that an extra fast rod with light line tends to play with megabass hooks better, as far as getting a hook in them and getting a hook into like some sort of jaw structure. I just don't lose a lot of fish on 610 MXFs, and I tend to cast a jerkbait further. I know this is a pretty good debate when you get a bunch of bass guys together on what they want for a jerkbait rod as far as being more modern or not. But I'm on the extra fast side of things.
Very interesting. Randy would agree on the 6-pound test, by the way.
Oh, great.
I'll let him know. Don't worry. No need to reach out.
I use the Victory 6.8 medium extra fast primarily for jerk baits, and I actually have two setups. So I'm light line early in the year and late, but right now I switch over to 10 to 12. I use 10 gamma actually, which is a little higher.
It's 12. If it's gamma, 10, 10 is 12.
Because I'm ripping those jerk baits and I'm working them, and it's not a finesse game for me. I mean, I know there's applications for that type of presentation, but I don't want nothing to do with a jerk bait this time of year unless I'm ripping.
Yeah.
That's just my personal opinion on that.
That's taking a chapter out of the book KVD right there.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah.
Most
I mean, for
definitely.
smallmouth, it's a great way to cover water. It's a great way, and you're going to get vicious bites if you're doing it that way. I'm talking like major, I've had clients that just can't keep up. So it's extreme. You're going to feel it. You're going to feel it that first day of doing it. I mean, I feel it every time I pick it up and do it, but man, we definitely, can catch some big smallmouth doing that at the right time.
Yeah, it's hard to stop jerking when you're catching big smallmouth. That's
right. That's right.
That was the driver behind making this part is a little bigger back here.
Yes.
That was one of the ways of kind of trying to reduce that palm or that, I'm no anatomy and physiologist guy, but whatever this is that hurts after throwing a +2 for 2 days straight.
That's savvy. I fixed that problem by using overgrip, like racquetball overgrip. You can increase the size, and then it puts a little, how like a samurai sword has that little rope around, and that gives you better grip too. So that overgrip for anybody that wants to add extra for the dudes with giant hands. Plus it keeps the cork nice.
And it's also nice if you have a flogger, you can put that around the grip on the flogger.
Very there you go, Travis. That's man. Look at that.
Tip of the day.
Well, tip of the day.
All the time. He's one of our engineers about his hand getting fatigued, like from musky fishing all the time. So for Christmas last year, we bought him a shake weight. That he says that helps. That the old shake weight.
No way.
He'll shake weight.
I love it.
That's what we. I don't know. It says it works. So.
Man, all right. So I have a question for you. Has anybody ever figured out how to keep a drop shot weight? Like St. Croix, figure that out. What's a good? I need a drop shot weight keeper tip. I'm so glad you asked, Eric.
Easy keeper.
That's the thing.
Yep.
Okay.
You flip it over and then you run your weight down along the side.
There it is.
You run your line up.
That's the answer I've been looking for. I never even thought of it. There it is. Look at that.
Oh yeah.
Just get an extra one.
I can show you with the mooch minnow, but
it makes.
I like that. Hey, and by the way, guys, I got to take a quick bathroom break. Be right back.
Okay, go ahead. We got it.
So like, for example, like your drop shot weight would fall right along the side.
Absolutely.
Up, but
yeah, that's perfect. That has literally been driving me crazy.
Yeah, it's that's why it was such a no-brainer for us. You go in the comment section and on Tackle Warehouse and you watch and see how many comments the Easy Keeper has of everything positivity. I mean, kudos to I think Gussie when he won the classic and Kumars did this giant shot of all of his rods having the Easy Keep on it. And you talk to the guys at Fuji and they're like, that's when it blew up. That's what it did, man.
Oh, that's amazing.
Just to the moon from thereafter.
Yeah, I have it on a couple rods. I have one, bait keeper break above the handle, and so I got a Fuji Easy Keeper. So I've used it, but I never thought enough to, I've got those rings. I guess it's a ring that you can fit around the butt end of your rod, and it's got a little keeper, but they slide up and down that little split grip, so that doesn't do me any good. It doesn't stay put.
Before this, I was stealing my wife and daughter's hair ties.
That's what I tried too, but just like I don't like that as much.
Yeah.
The hair bands.
Very
good. Very good. So how many years have you been with St. Croix now?
I'm knocking on the door at 10 now, which is absolutely crazy.
A decade.
I know. Absolutely crazy that I've been going to work with my group and over in Park Falls. So
that's
absolutely
fantastic.
Crazy, I know.
Congrats on a decade, man. I'm 22 years with the Squires group, man. So 22 for me.
Jeez. Time flies.
For sure. Travis, how long have you been with SmallmouthCrush now?
Well,
let's think about that.
2018-ish.
You're doing good, man. 7 years.
Yeah. Wow.
Good job.
That's crazy.
I know. Think about it.
Jeez.
Any more questions that came through?
I'm looking.
Searching for a few.
I know. I got distracted.
Did you find them? I'm sorry, I'm not helping with the chat tonight. It's tough.
Oh, you can't see chats.
If I do, I can't. I
got
you.
you.
Hold on. Yeah, I wasn't really watching the chat.
No, it's
you guys
fine.
were talking before, so
normally
I could be a facilitator here for you.
No,
Travis, you still fishing that? You still got that giant extendo net that you fish with in the boat?
I do. Not guiding. That's just tournaments with the guy that knows how to work that net.
Man,
But I do. Yeah, I do. Why not? Right?
I'm sure there have been fish you've landed that
There
you would
have.
not have landed.
I haven't after watching who was it? I think it was Kumar's. I don't know. Somebody did the coverage on you and that extendo net. I've got an extendo net now too.
Right.
I've been influenced.
That's the best.
I remember when I fished when the opens allowed you to use a net. Chris Bose saw that on my front deck and kind of gave me a double take and made some comments about that thing. Because it is, for guys that don't know, I in a tournament scene, especially if I'm fishing with my partner JP, especially for smallmouth, I'm going to tell you, because I freak out. I walk by people's boats in a tournament and they'll have a net this big, and I like, that's the size of the net, and the handle's this big, and I'm just like, if for number one, especially big smallmouth with a big net, a lot of times we're in big waves, okay, so that net is going to come in handy in those swells when you're fighting fish. You got to have a guy that knows how to net. You got to trust your net man, for one. Other times, that fish is going to come up often right before he decides to dive back down, and sometimes it's just out of reach of a normal net. And if you can get that net under him. Another thing is, if we're fishing structure, now it's changed a little bit with forward-facing sonar, but when we used to use 2D strictly, and you're looking for that mark, and you're dropping straight down, especially on the Great Lakes, and not every it seems like smallmouth in Erie, Michigan, Ontario, they all kind of fight differently. And what I mean by that is, for instance, some Great Lakes, like Lake Erie, a lot of times those fish will skyrocket out of the water, right? When we're dropping straight down on them on Ontario, and this only happens when I'm dropping straight down, I don't know the reason why, a lot of times those big fish are going to come straight up right at the trolling motor. And if your guy's good, you can get that net right there before they go back down, and you're fighting them for 6 minutes.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Or get this, frogging, matted.
Oh, yeah.
You're pulling that thing up through stick that thing out there and scoop all that salad and that big bass up at the same time.
Yeah, plus you can't stab with a net that big. You know, if you give them the little weenie net, they can stab your fish.
That's right.
Right off the hook.
Mm-hmm. So we've caught thousands of fish this year already, and I don't think I've had to touch any of them because I started using the net more, Eric, this year. The little
so smart.
Yeah, dude, my hands are beautiful.
Yeah, man.
I don't think I touched a fish today.
That's so crazy.
No, it's awesome.
It's amazing how much the net can decrease your chances of also getting a hook in your hand. I mean,
my gosh.
Instead of bellying them and pinning them against the side of your boat while they shake around with 6 hooks.
Right.
Or 9 hooks.
Oh, yeah.
Man.
Frightening.
Yeah. Let's see. Do I still fish with explosives? Well, no.
Not anymore. Not since live scope.
I reached the net down 8 feet and scooped the bass right off the beds. There you go. Some of these comments, man. We've had some good comments over the last couple of weeks. I'll tell you that. I think MJ's got a good one there.
Net length limits. Hey, they limit everything else: horsepower, screen size, length of your rod.
Mm-hmm.
Why not the net?
Too. Well,
that's right. Yeah, step stool heights. Can't have ladders.
Can't have ladders. What's wrong with these people?
The heck, you can only be 7 foot tall. No, no giants allowed.
No,
can't fish on stilts.
Nope. Gosh, those were the days, though. I brought the ladder on opening day. I had her out.
Did you?
And then it got to be too much, you know.
Yeah.
Plus, I like it when it's dead flat calm, and you're just
my gosh,
more for more for tournament practice when you really want to cover water fast
That makes
versus
sense.
guiding. I don't need to be up on that ladder, but it's a world of difference. You know what? So my perch trip, after they caught their limited perch, they want to get their kids on some smallmouth.
Oh,
so
fun.
I brought the flogger, but I'm in the Lund, right? And I got that stupid Minn Kota Tarova, maybe that is way different than my bass boat.
Sure.
Freaking. So I'm doing yo-yos and going in all different directions. I finally get in position with no power poles, nothing, and then the Lund Alaskan has a nice platform, 2-3 foot maybe up. So I jumped on top of that to really get a good. It helps. Height helps out there.
Fantastic.
Yeah, it does.
Did they catch them?
So we caught one. We only spent 20 minutes, but
okay.
I was setting, and then the transition from the set to the kid, was a little hard to keep the smallies pinned. But we did get one in the boat. So
that's awesome, though, man.
Yeah,
I mean, just to see one big one come in the boat must have been thrilling for him.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, it was. Yeah, platform shoes, I've looked into that. They don't make them in size 13. 12 is the biggest platform shoes you can get. And I've looked everywhere.
Why don't you just get yourself a pair of those like 1970 stacks?
Maybe.
Yeah,
I mean if I ever went back to and fished a Wisco event, with Kyle Carpenter, the director, who
get some
DQ'd me for being on a ladder during their official practice.
You can't say anything about 10-inch stacks, man. Just get yourself some 10-inch stacks.
I would have some platform shoes for that event. Yes.
The 10-inch stacks would look fantastic with bell-bottom jeans, man. Go way back in, man. Grow your hair long. Ryan, he gave you that tip, man. Show up with locks.
I know.
Yeah.
I think my days of locks are over, man.
Oh, MJ, you're good tonight.
Wow, that's pretty good.
That is good.
Yeah, there's always great comments here.
Is that Randy Savage's profile picture?
Looks like
it's funny.
I think we might be the original show for bad comments, man. There have been some crazy good ones over the years, like laugh out loud, make you cry, Ryan. It's been a little crazy on SmallmouthCrush.
3 weeks ago, it was insane.
It was hilarious.
I talk about that show, man. I can't.
So good.
This guy's in Jinko jeans. Oh man.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yep.
Nice.
All right. Well, we were going to kind of have a short show, and this is.
Yeah. It is.
Well, when you coming back, Eric?
I'll be down here for another 3 weeks at our house.
Oh.
Yeah, Meg's in town from California. Max is coming this Thursday. My father-in-law just left. It's been a good trip, man. You only live once.
That's right.
Right.
When you coming up here?
Use it. I mean, you tell me.
Okay, I'll tell you this complaint.
Tell me.
Okay, you ready? Let me pull this up. I'm gonna pull this up. So BTC text me. Oh shit, I forgot to get a hold of him too.
I talked to him today for about an hour and 45 minutes.
Okay.
Okay. Never mind.
So he goes, so I sent them some dates that I had available months ago if you want to come up for a day or two.
Wow.
So on Friday, he circles June 20th. Okay, here. He circles June 20th.
Yep. I see that.
He goes, I'm here. And then 4 hours later, I don't get back to him. He goes, you heard me, punk. Still didn't get back to him. And then that night, he goes, he sends me a picture with him in front of the Cape Vincent boat ramp sign. Yeah. And he goes, waiting for you all day. I didn't even know he's in town. He plays these mind games, I'm here. Like, okay. And then I'm like, what? You're up here? And anyways, I guess you had to be there, but it would be nice to get out on the boat with him again. It's been a while.
It would be. Yeah, I think he went fishing with Oliver and I for 3 days.
What? Yeah,
and John Mango, who watches our show, was in the house. Yeah, they were staying in Chameau Bay. And I'm
okay,
like, but
so
Brian,
he's gonna.
It was
What?
me that wanted to go fishing with Oliver and I. What are you doing up there? Like Brian's been promising me a trip for years together, right? Be nice for us all to go fishing. Can you imagine that? Me, you, and BTC on the boat? Holy moly, we'd have a blast.
I know. I don't.
Man, it needs to be said though, Oliver is one of the nicest guys you ever meet in your entire life. He's
been on our show a couple times.
Fantastic individual.
Yeah,
for sure.
All right, now I get it. I was the guy out,
Did you got? Yeah, I got bumped too. I was supposed to go to New York with Brian and see you. We're gonna try to coincide it with the NPFL. Anyway, because they're coming up.
Oh yeah.
Mm. That's going to be very interesting to see how they approach those waters with no scope.
Yep.
It won't be.
Well, for me, it will be. Remember.
Okay.
You're the scope.
I'm gonna tell you.
Scope.
No.
Tell me.
I'm gonna tell you a couple things.
Change my mind.
It's basically the river. They're not even allowing you to go to the lake.
Okay,
right?
so it's all
river only.
Got it.
Okay.
Dragon.
In the St. Lawrence, you got a lot of current in there.
Absolutely.
Yes. Do I use? Is
drag?
live scope always on? Live scope's always on. You
sure
did it with me.
I've been with you.
Easily fish. You can drag. You can do
yeah.
all that. Cover water.
Drift.
Be around fish, and you're gonna catch fish without live scope for
Absolutely. Sure. What do you think it will take to win? Compare St. Lawrence to St. Lawrence.
25,
oh wow,
25 a day.
25 a day.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Still fishing. Fantastic.
Listen, I love it, but most of the time I'm using my trolling motor to slow me down, and I have my live scope on the pole. I do face it straight back, so I kind of see what's coming up. I got the 360 going, but I'm very familiar with all the humps and stuff out there. So
sure,
you
keep us on that rock transition, man. I mean,
technically, you give me just a GPS map, and we could drift and catch fish without that type of technology. When I talk how I love forward-facing sonar and why I don't want to fish without it, I'm talking about fishing deep, fishing offshore, fishing little rocks, fishing boulders. Being for me, yeah. Do I target fish on live scope? Yes, but it's also great to be able to just shoot over there and know if I'm wasting time sitting here or I can go hit more. I can go hit 60% more spots than I could without it, because we had to sit there and shake our baits around when there's no fish around.
I fully understood, man. I get it.
I don't understand the hate. I truly don't. I fish the way you want. You don't gotta.
Exactly. Dude. Go out and snap a crankbait through grass and not know when it's coming. That's perfect too.
Okay,
right?
Jay.
That's why we do both.
JP, I know this is kind of off topic, but I want to.
JP who?
JP, our buddy JP.
Big JP.
Yeah. Give me 1 second here.
Okay. What do you got?
Because this is kind of funny.
All right. We're with you.
I know you are. Bear with me. Where was it? Okay, so JP was out flogging. Okay, and we're both part of the St. Lawrence River Rat group. You should be, since you're a river rat.
I thought you didn't like that term.
I don't. But so there's a post. Wow. There's JP fishing. Somebody took a picture of him from shore. There he is laying on the front of the deck. Do you see that?
All right. Yep, I see it.
What is the function of the two posts at the stern of these bass boats and this fisherman that has down the water? Do you extend to the river bottom to maintain position? It was just a question about power poles, basically.
Yes.
Okay. It turned into a full-blown war that I didn't get involved with until about 2 a.m. and I didn't have drinking involved. I was ready because I went over. JP helped me fix my boat the other day, and he was looking at this, and he was all in a fluster, and because his picture's on the internet, and some people were just asking about power poles. Well,
oh no.
Okay, so looks like they're not real.
Post or Instagram?
Facebook. Looks like they're not real fishermen. I see live scope and one guy using ViewTube to spot fish. I'll tell other guy where to put his bait. That's not fishing. Okay, just hold on. Okay, ViewTube. So now they're all calling this thing a ViewTube instead of a Flogger. So ViewTube was used in front of our place this past week. I've never seen such a thing. The guy in the front has a viewfinder to see bass on beds, which to me is cheating to catch fish. Just my opinion. Okay, no, definitely cheating to catch bass. Blah blah blah. And then there's more comments. Flogging is cheating. Okay, lazy man's anchor. And then some guys go, "You spelled rich man wrong." And then then this guy goes, "They are electrodes used to shock the fish as they swim by. The spotter in the front tells the other to when to activate the flux capacitor. This avoids having to remove the hook from the fish's mouth. No innocent minnows are subject to being eaten alive." And then some lady actually thought that was actually real. And then some goes, "Send them home for fishing like this. I know local businesses need the revenue, but most bass fishermen become as bad as the cormorants."
Oh, wow.
Cheating knows no age limit.
You guys are cormorants.
So now this guy goes, "They're splooking near our dock. There's a bunch of 2-pounders." Okay, hold on. "Just look with polarized sunglasses. Leave the spawning bass alone. Cheating to make them think they're bass fishermen. Weekend warriors." Anyways.
Wow.
It goes on and on and on.
I love it.
And then, yeah, it was funny. And then I couldn't take it. So I got on there because JP didn't want to stick up for himself. I thought that was really good.
How did you
I wrote
the fray?
Well, I just started with Sylvia. I go, obviously nobody's stunning fish. That's pretty obnoxious to believe that, which is true. Here's another comment I made. I'm going to show you a really good comment. Hold on. Yeah, we're cormorants now.
Human cormorants.
Hold on. This is going to get good if I could find it. So I started educating people. I go, the proper term is a flogger. They've been around for over 15 years. It's really nothing new. And Lisa was kind about it. She goes, "Guess we're old-fashioned fishermen. Look like a construction cone to me." I go, "Some certainly do. There's only 2 manufacturers that make them commercially. One is bright orange, and a lot of people spray paint it or put electric tape around it. But they also make a straight black version, basically that helps see your bait and the fish's reaction to your bait, so you can use it to discover what's below your boat as far as type of vegetation, if there's moss, algae on the bottom, if it's clean, stuff like that." So I'm just here educating people, right? I'm just trying to be a nice guy. And I didn't get like crazy at all about it. And then I wrote, okay, so this guy calls JP a weekend warrior. I go, this guy actually fishes about 150 days a year. I don't think it's a weekend warrior. LOL. It's a weird term to use cheating. Is there a law against using a flogger? Is it illegal? No, it's not. And then I guess one guy took the comment down, but yeah, they took it down. Man, I had a really good. Okay, so flogging's cheating. So I guess using your eyes is cheating now. Polarized glasses or sonar. Either way, you're watching fish and making a decision. Funny how it's only cheating when someone else is better at it. Let's not confuse tradition with ethics. If it's legal, it's fair game. Maybe the fish just didn't bite for you. Okay, I was being good, but I wanted to make a point that I just and I know it's like we talk about this all the time, like keyboard warriors, and I got involved in it, you know. But one guy said real men don't fish for bass, they fish for walleyes. And that's when I went off. I talked about how it's a huge industry and everyone benefits, and I love catching bass, and they taste awful. And then I had to educate him on most people with these bass boats, these sparkly bass boats, they're not killing bass. I said, I don't know anyone, and I know a lot of anglers that eat bass. I said, we're not
Oliver
the ones.
Does.
Well, yes,
He does.
I saw that. But anyways, yeah,
interesting.
Yeah, so poor JP
funny.
got hammered for flogging, you know.
He's been flogged for flogging.
Yes, yes.
He took a flogging for a flogger.
Traffic cones. Yeah, Devin goes, they complain if you fish before they spawn. They complain if you fish legally during the spawn. They complain if you fish too deep in the summer. They just don't like fishing.
Yeah.
You know,
Leave those fish alone.
yeah, it happens. He said one guy ran down from his dock or was working. It's funny. He JP was creeping up to his dock, and the guy stopped hammering on his deck and started and was running full speed down to the bank, and it's kind of on a slope. And he hit the hitch of his tractor and fell on the grass. And JP goes, "Hey, are you okay, bud?" Like JP was concerned, and then this guy went off on.
You guys have angler harassment laws in New York?
I don't know about that. I don't know.
You're right. There are some.
We do in Wisconsin. There's
Yeah,
usually some idiot that makes it famous every year.
Sure.
For, shooting somebody with a paintball gun, throwing rocks.
Oh man, for real.
Oh yeah.
Have you ever gotten, Ryan? Have you ever gotten into a Karen on the water?
Unfortunately, I have, and it's to the point. We've got just an absolutely ridiculously good Wisconsin largemouth lake. I mean, not that far from me. I mean, it's a 5, 6, and 7 pound lake. Like there's some giants in there. Lake's really weird once you get into, especially now with this hot weather. Once you get into June and July, it's like pea soup, and the fish live shallow. I'm convinced they live shallow year round, and
that's wild.
It sets up for a really good dock bite. There's a really good mix of like old crib docks, like old wood docks, and then there's some aluminum docks and stuff in there. But there's a lady, she was made famous 2 years ago with angler harassment with the DNR, and then when she shot a guy with a paintball gun. Yep, shot a guy with a paintball gun. Yeah, it did not go well, and I don't know how the charges all worked out there, but yeah, it was the guy that I actually knew. He had white power poles on the back of his boat, and there's a red blotch on the power pole still almost to this day from where he got hit with the paintball gun.
The paintball.
But it's too bad because a lot of us have been to the point where we're like, okay, let's just post the coordinates of our dock and then be like, yeah, if you want to catch a 7 pound largemouth in northern Wisconsin, like this is the dock, and just send people in droves, But I don't. It's like, do you do that and then blow the lake up? Or
you
just
true.
Oh, sure.
Yeah. I had an incident with 2 years ago with a lady in a paddleboard that was totally freaked her out and got me yelled at, and I didn't do anything. I was fishing a 710 MMF Victory with a spy bait on it. Yeah. I had Mega Live 1, so I don't know what I was looking at because I couldn't see anything anyway. So there's this lake that's got a resort on it, and from this resort it has this big giant sand flat that comes out, and it's got a bunch of reeds on it, and people like to paddleboard out there because then look at a little fish swimming around. And
sure,
there's this lady paddleboarding around in the weeds, and right at the end where the big drop off is, there's fish right on the outside of the drop off, and I launched this spy bait out. It hit the water, and I was counting it down, and I wasn't watching, and I could see. Mega Live 1, sort of see the spy bait go down in the water, and you can see the smallmouth just come up and like right on the fall and grab it.
Oh, wow.
When I was looking down, she had taken like 2 or 3 hard paddles and went over top of my line.
So you have a fish hooked behind her.
Yes, I have a fish hook under her.
Oh, yes.
So I set the hook on this smallmouth, and of course I got my drag super light because it's spy bait, and the fish comes out of the water on the other side of her. She's like, and I won't say it, but she's like, do you know you have a fish on the other side of me? And meanwhile, my line is like seesawing her freaking foam paddleboard.
Oh,
so, yeah. And she freaks out, and I'm like, just go backwards. She's got these little balance fins. She chewed my rear end. Her husband came to the boat landing and yelled at me. Like,
really?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it wasn't good. I had some people with me too. It wasn't good, but it happens. We have people up here that get like, they'll come at you for, having live scope on your boat and filling up your gas pump. Like you'll get some rogue, crazy muskie guy. They'll come up and yell at you because you think he's muskie fishing with live scope. Cause that is.
Oh, wow. Yeah. They don't like that. Those muskie guys don't like that.
A mega hot topic up here.
Big time. They don't consider it fair chase.
No, hold on, Eric. You said muskie guys don't like that.
They don't consider it fair chase.
Okay, is a guy that's has live scope and fishes for muskie, is he not a muskie guy? Because he obviously likes it.
Uh-oh.
So you're saying
they don't consider it fair chase.
There's
They're
a
true muskie
small
guys.
so you have to be a true, so you're only a true muskie guy if you don't have live scope. Is that what you're saying here?
Here's the
I know this is a safe place for live scope talk, but
just here's the
you're
rub.
crossing the line here.
Ken Duke's in the chat somewhere. Maybe he's long gone, but he introduced a topic in a monologue before Bass After Dark that I think creates a lot of thought, and I respect Ken, and I like the way he did his monologue. In hunting, there's a concept called fair chase. Ken Duke, I respect. I thought that was the best point I've ever heard about the whole debate around live scope. Is it fair chase? I'll just leave you with the question. You can answer it in your own mind. People can talk about it in the chat. Is it fair chase?
Yeah. Well,
And
MJ,
the bigger the fish,
you're
the
right,
more
MJ.
they
If
show
I'm
up.
going muskie fishing, I want to set the hook. I don't want to cast. I can cast all day in the backyard.
But you and I have talked about this a million times. There's something about look, you can identify with the guy who feels the other way. We get why you feel that way. That doesn't mean you're wrong, and it doesn't mean he's wrong. See, don't throw shade on the guy that likes the grind, that respects the fish of 10,000 casts, that likes the magic of not knowing when, right? I'm that guy, and so we've worked that out between me and you, right? You don't have to hate him because he's dumb for fishing that way. See, you're not going to score any points with that guy for that, right? But anyway, back to Ken's point. Fair chase. I thought it was a great monologue. You should listen to it and then comment on it. It was really good.
Okay.
Ken's a deep thinker, man.
Yes.
He is.
He's a I respect him tremendously. It was a brilliant monologue. He's done a lot of great monologues. That was just one of them. And it was recent, by the way. Anyway, so I didn't know the Wisconsin guys, they're really they would ring you up in a parking lot because they think you're going muskie fishing with scope.
Yeah, we've got a girl that's up here, female angler that is, I would argue, top 5 muskie angler in northern Wisconsin, maybe in the Midwest. Her name is Christina Troop. If you guys aren't following her on Instagram, go check her out.
Cool.
She's a traveling nurse, works all winter just to guide muskies.
No way.
Summer. Oh yeah, wow. Fantastic individual. But she's scopes. She's a scoper. She constantly, through either marketing through her business or just her own personal vlog, catches consistently. I mean, muskies 45 and above. She's caught multiple 50s, and she's a female angler. You should see the comments that she gets. I
bet they savage her.
It's an unfortunate
disgusting, probably
how crappy just how crappy social media can be. But
I mean, take that out of live scope. You'll find that anywhere in America right now on social media, whether it's live scope or something else, right?
Yep.
I mean, there's a lack of respect for whatever you want to do and whoever you want to be, right? It's crazy. But add it to fishing and then it gets even kookier.
What I enjoy are the group of anglers that I like being around and talking about live scope with is crappie guys, because they are so far ahead. That
aren't they the OG guys? They were, right?
When I was on here last time, Dan and I talked about this with the Shreveport Crappie Expo, and still crappie anglers are so much fun to talk about when it comes to live scope, because they are tasked with making sure they respectfully manage their fisheries. But there's a professional crappie angler, Todd Huckabee, that, man, he will talk your ear off about color gain. It is absolutely awesome.
Wow.
Color gain and
gain.
Oh yeah. He's those guys are so much fun to talk about, because it'll start out with live scope settings, and then it'll migrate to batteries, and then it's mounts, and then it goes to crappie brakes, and then it goes to these guys are so far
hardcore. Yeah,
that's unbelievable. What's that big Australian fish that looks like a bass? Oh, what is it? Come on, Travis.
Oh,
not the Barra. It's
I know.
giant.
I think I know what you mean. Yeah.
And those guys, there's this huge debate down there about live scope and those fish, because they're so big, and they're getting pressured now in a tough way.
It's going on in Europe right now too. It's going on in Europe right now. We build perch and zander rods, as well as pike rods, and you'd be amazed, the belly boaters, the guys that are fishing what we would call like a float tube, but
Yeah.
they call them belly boats in Europe.
Mhm.
The guys that have rigged up mounts for belly boats and, the bait of, live scoping, perch and zander, zander being giant walleyes,
Yep.
it's not just domestically, it's an international debate now.
Oh, wow. It's crazy.
What,
Well, I mean, and so goes all of it with AI, right? Here comes the machine. Right.
Oh,
I
yeah.
mean, it's starting to extend into jobs and business and creative and art and all that. It's very rise of the machines. Here we are. I got to plug my phone in.
Sure. That leads me to a quick question. I'm just curious about, Ryan, as far as besides the US, what is your biggest market country-wise for St. Croix rods?
Great question.
Definitely Europe. I mean, North America, just in general, the Canadian market, if you want to talk, consider that international, but definitely Europe. As far as perch and zander, pike, surf fishing as well. Russia used to be a significant market for us as well. Believe it or not, there's a lot of our rods that are sold in Japan as well. But it is a kind of a pinnacle purchase to own a St. Croix rod in Europe, Poland.
Very cool.
But it's a good market for us as well. We've really been able to grow that market when you stop, thinking about a zander angler as a walleye angler, because they're not. I mean, I wish our walleyes were like that in the States.
Sure.
Holy cow.
Yeah.
Absolutely crazy. And perch as well.
What's that big perch? Their perch get
it's
huge.
Is it a yellow perch? It looks like it, or is it a tench?
It's
is that different?
It's not. I don't think it's a yellow perch, but it's some species of.
It looks like a yellow perch. They're giant.
It does.
Yep. But they're all related. So we have a rod series called Rayfin.
Okay.
And it's a Rayfin is a perch and zander series, because a walleye and a zander and whatever the perch is, they're all part of the Rayfin family, meaning when the fin expands, it looks like a sun ray. That's where it all
I've
comes
never even heard of that.
Rayfin. Yep.
Learn something new every day, Travis.
Yep.
Yes, you do.
You're a pretty good Rayfin fisherman, Travis. I got to give it to you.
Good Rayfin. Yeah. There's also we have to have a strong sea bass market in Europe as well.
Got it.
Yeah, that's a whole little niche market too, man. It's really cool.
There's some, and like looking at the Rapala book of business too. I mean, there's a whole different category of baits and stuff that we don't even have access to here in the States that a lot of people are.
Very true.
Yeah.
I love that international stuff. You can find it on eBay sometimes, but some Shad Rap series colors that are really, really dynamite that apply for bass. But you got to look. You got to get them from European shops. And some of that rock bass or that sea bass. Some of the hooks, I've always thought, man, like they're exclusively throwing their baits in rocks, and so these jig heads are designed for that. And I'm thinking to myself, man. Could you use that for smallmouth because you're dragging, I mean, obviously Travis would just say, all you need is a sniper jig. What are you wasting your money for? But, anyway.
Buy them. We'll try them out. Well,
I have them. What, are you kidding me?
Sure you do.
Do you think I didn't want to bring them up? There's a zillion things we haven't tried yet that I've got.
So Travis, is it fair game to pick your brain a little bit about the sniper?
Yeah, absolutely.
So
and I'll tell you if he's lying or not.
How popular is we'll call it the hybrid, where it has the silicone skirt and the hair?
Okay, so I'll say a couple things.
Travis,
what?
He doesn't need it. He just needs the regular sniper, bro.
I know, but let me explain.
Go ahead.
So cold.
You mean why you've never thrown it?
I made a video about it. I've used it this year.
Dude, I'm just trying to be real for Ryan, okay? Smallmouth Crush. Let's just be honest. Throw the OW sniper. Don't waste your money on the Marabou.
Okay, stop. Just let me explain. Cold weather, right? Like pre-spawn. I think the Marabou would come into play. I've used it with a little net on the back. I don't use it without a trailer. Now, I'm going to give you another. I'm going to say something about this, Eric. There is a guy, I cannot disclose his name. All right. Sworn to secrecy about everything.
Yes.
He's using the sniper, the hybrid, as if it was a shaking a minnow. That's all I can say.
Well, it's like Tyler Williams shaking a jig for largemouth, right? I mean, I get it.
Shaking a jig in his hog. Dude, that guy, something else.
Bare feet too. Yeah, pretty cool.
So I normally use the basic, the normal, the the MB, which stands for magic bug. I like the skirt, the trim, the thinner skirt, and more of the finesse. And there's only a handful of I think there's just a handful of colors that we sell the MB version of the sniper jig in. That's truly, when I went to Derek with this. So the whole story you guys probably heard about. Tell you real quick. Guy in Wisconsin, actually grown up at Lake Winnebago, pouring jigs, 6 skirts, smallie beaver on the back, wrecking them. He called it a magic bug. And basically it started there with Paul. And there's obviously guys all over the country doing it, but nobody commercially made a high-end, superior football head that I wanted. And so we designed this, and it took off. There's all major companies now are kind of coming out with their version of it. But it's a great jig. I throw it so much because it's so versatile. I know how much guys and the live scope viewers that are watching this appreciate, shaking a minnow. But for smallmouth on my waters, you shake a minnow and that fish you're either shaking it wrong for the attitude of that fish. So he comes up, doesn't care, goes back down, or, follow it or lose interest, whatever. If you throw a sniper jig on that same fish, you're going to have a higher percentage of a bite compared if you threw that. And plus you got wind conditions a lot, to be able to shake a minnow out there and hover it properly. Whew, that's a lot of work.
It's
really
so effective. And to me, the Max and Little General is the best trailer.
It's pretty good. Pretty good.
It's a shameless plug, but if you guys haven't fished the motion fishing penny craw, it's pretty good too on the back of it. It's like a motion's under the radar. It's a pretty small company. It's owned by one of our brand ambassadors, named Bobby Roberts, out of the Ozarks. But
what's it
very
called?
Cool.
Penny craw.
Penny, like a penny?
Yeah, penny. PENNY by Motion Fishing.
Motion Fishing. Okay,
Yeah,
gotcha.
I'm gonna look.
And Ryan, Travis, they're coming out with smaller size sniper jig.
Yeah, I know.
3/16.
You're telling Ryan. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I thought you were
I'm
telling
just saying. No. I'm just telling Ryan, when they come out, definitely have those in play, because anything under 10 foot, I make a little jig. I'll just do a small plug for my little football jig. That's a little bit different, but it's out now and available at the Bass Lab. So if you're in like major fishing season and you want to go to the Bass Lab, it's bigcartel.basslab.com. I sell them an 1/8 ounce 3/16, and those just have a different float. True finesse, right? Finesse is about weight as well as how you present the bait and how you tie the bait, right?
Yep.
The materials you use. So it's a solid alternative until Beast Coast hits the market. And certainly I would send people to Beast Coast before mine.
I wonder with the hybrid if he's that angler is finding fish suspended and then pitching to them like guys are doing with.
Yes, that's what he's doing. Yep.
That makes sense. It's because I don't think anybody thought that a Nico was going to be a major player with forward facing, and then all of a sudden you're watching it become a major player.
Sure. Yeah.
But more with green fish than brown fish.
Oh man, I've been fishing Nico for a long time, and I can tell you without live scope, it's deadly on cypress and anything else I pitch to.
Yeah.
Sure.
Oh yeah.
I love these little tips. I always get some ideas. I actually I want to share this with that. I don't know if I can. I gotta be careful.
Don't.
I won't.
What?
Anyways.
Wait a minute. On Smallmouth Crush, we don't hold anything back.
Okay. I'm not gonna name, but we were talking about the algae on the bottom. Some people I call it algae, moss, whatever. That nasty stuff. Where you can't drag. There's times you can't drag a tube and Ned through that because it's just going to get caught. And oftentimes the fish aren't really excited to be on that stuff anyways, but there is perhaps big boulders, things around it that's why they're there.
Yep. And
he talked about using the Z-Man hula stick in the 4-inch version on an 1/8 ounce bullet weight Texas rig with the KVD, the pin grip pin hook, size 1.
You talking about Cornell?
No.
Oh,
no. So that's a tiny green. Do you rig it like a tiny child?
No,
What's that?
you just rigging it.
No,
You're just rigging
no,
it
no, no.
Texas.
Rigging it normal. I'm just saying something. Maybe you guys are like, oh, you don't Texas rig for smallmouth. I just don't present those baits that way. But he says that thing will just float up and it's going to come through that stuff way better than any other bottom bait that is used because of the buoyancy, and it will come through clean oftentimes, especially with a lighter weight. And so first thing I did, and I got some of those, whatever they're called, sticks, right? Hula
sticks.
Hula sticks. I just don't really use them that much, and so I ordered a bunch of
4-inch.
colors, and I'm willing to give it a try. I like tips like that. Like I'm gonna look up the motion penny craw. Like I mean that's what everyone. If people give advice that are in the industry or fish on a regular basis, you really should at least think about it. And I mean that's how I find most of my information, from a trusted source, someone I know, not some pro talking about the baits he's sponsored by, but just getting that advice from people,
And by the way, that hula stick on that same setup in that same hook in a grass bed, especially on pressured fish in our rivers, is just
Sure.
dynamite.
Dynamite. Yeah.
Interesting. Are you guys fishing dice?
I made my own, but
Yeah.
I haven't had much success yet.
I had
tried it up north one time.
I found a couple packs of co-angler left in my boat, and I never threw them. And then my last tackle warehouse order, I did get a little crazy with some Japanese stuff, and I did buy some of it.
Did you?
Yeah. So it's
Travis
for $20. This little shell package with 3 dice came in it.
Oh my
And,
God.
Guilty.
$20.
It's like, I don't know. Maybe, yeah, sure. They'll bite it, but when do you throw it? Like when you're just fun fishing? Like how well does that stay on the hook? Is there tricks to, like how you wacky rig a Cinco and put that band on it? Is there ways to save that? I don't know these things yet, but
yeah. So I waited for an elastic to come out after you have the Japanese ones that are not cheap, and you get 3 in a package, but it's a beautiful package. I mean, it's like displayed, it's like this suspend. I mean, it's really cool. But I found them super effective when you get a mayfly hatch. Like we get.
Well, how would you rig that? How are you rigging it?
Drop shot. So basically, you find transitions from like mud where mayflies are coming out.
Yep.
Rigging a drop shot.
What part of the box do you put the hook through?
So it's
or whatever it is.
You basically just find a corner and
it's a corner.
Yeah, just put it through a corner.
Okay.
The other thing I found is if you take I think it's a 2-aught or a 1-aught VMC Nico hook, and it's got the monofilament bait keeper that's up towards the
Finesse
front.
Nico.
Yeah, Finesse Nico. If you thread it through and then slide it all the way up right next to your line, it can still do its thing, like move its arms and legs, but then it uses that bait keeper as well right before your drop shot knot. And it keeps the hooks straight as well.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Finesse Nico.
I don't think it's as good as, it's been folklored up to be, but it's definitely interesting. I mean,
Sure.
Still amazes me what these things will eat sometimes.
That is true.
Very curious fish.
Yeah. I got a million things run through my mind about rigging those, but I'm willing to give it a try.
Save it for me when I get up there. We'll try.
Yeah. I do have
and so is the Z-Man one.
I've been sworn to secrecy on this one, and I cannot share it on the channel. But I've been experimenting with there's a Japanese bait similar to that I've had amazing success on.
Amakanuchi.
Blows my mind. I don't know what it's called.
I know what it's called.
I don't know.
I do.
I don't. So, anyways, it's fun. I get, Eric, why you love tinkering with stuff. I totally get it,
man. It's fun.
That's your gig. I like setting the hooks. I'm going to use
definitely
standard stuff.
Didn't the guy went up there on a Ned rig that he just I showed everybody on one stream one night, Ryan? I took a little Finesse TRD and I took a bait threading needle and I stuck some silicone through a Z-Man TRD. Finesse TRD.
Mhm.
And you know, you've
Mhm.
got basically it's a yucky bug that's been made for years, right? Yeah, man, walleye bait with a lead head. I'm
Sure.
a little
It's
more
like the
action, a
walleye
little more
guys that look
bulk.
at Okashira and call it a whistler jig. Like,
That,
oh yeah, nice $20 whistler jig you got.
Right.
honestly, yeah,
Right.
but I wish a Whistler jig had that hook, that
Yeah,
silky gray hook. And let me tell you, the Okashiras made me some tournament money for greenfish.
for
Mm.
greenfish. That's a dangerous bait to throw
100%.
from the back of the boat too. That can give guys some
So
shivers.
real quick,
Some
guys,
literally heartache.
let's
Ryan, you know
let's
it, and I know it.
let's brainstorm. Let's brainstorm in the comments here. I want to see if Ryan knows this term. I don't think Eric does, but I'm going to say it, and then I want you to tell me what applications could we use from that world over to bass fishing with this rig. Okay. Wolf River rig. You know what that is?
I definitely don't.
No. Ryan, do you know?
Yeah,
Salmon fishing?
No. Well, okay. All it is
Well,
it's a
it's
three-way swivel.
Yep.
Okay. You have weight coming down one end, and you got another line,
Leader.
maybe longer normally, with a hook. It could be a floating jig head. It could be a straight hook. You can catch sheephead. You can catch catfish. You can catch white bass. Hook a minnow on it. Walleye anglers drift or will cast it off a bridge and just let it sit with a minnow. You can drift with these.
Mhm.
What if you put and what would be the benefit versus a drop shot? I'm curious. But what if you would put like a 2.8 Kitech and drag that? Or what if you put some sort of smaller crankbait, like a floating Rapala, or
Oh yeah.
and I'm just curious.
Travis, I think the Sturgeon Bay Open was one. I mean, we're talking pre-live sonar, but I think the Canadians used to long line jerkbaits with Wolf River rigs, like
How
long,
about
like
that?
stroll them, and that was
How
kind of their
about
deal.
that? How about that?
Sure.
Travis, and I've got these three-way swivels that
Yeah.
swivel. It's like
Yeah.
it's a three-way
No.
swivel.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
bought them and I wanted to fish them with
That's way better than the what is
the
it,
regular
Eagle Claw
brass
gold
three-way
ones?
swivel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
No, I'm talking it's like a swivel. It goes like this. It can go
yeah.
around that middle one. So
Mhm.
it's a swivel up
Okay.
top, swivel up bottom, and a
Now
swivel in the
there's a
middle.
whole discussion too with the Wolf River rig as far as the weight. So normal, just a bell weight versus they make pencil weights, Eric, for these walleye guys.
Yeah,
Like
I guess
it's like a longer,
pencil would come through the rock better, maybe. I don't know.
yeah, maybe, or banana shaped, or what's the Lindy
Or what
rig
Yeah,
weight?
Lindy,
the Lindy
yeah.
rig? What about the parachute cord?
Yeah, bottom.
I
Well, you
don't
got a bottom bouncer too. I mean,
Oh
Travis,
yeah,
yeah.
my gosh.
Travis, when you were talking about having a problem with losing your drop shot weights,
Yeah.
that is what I was thinking was that like sock looking weight that I know that I've seen guys use as drop shot weights.
Yeah, that parachute. It's
Yeah.
parachute cord, like
Yeah.
welded, right? And it's got lead shot in the middle, right? And
Well,
it's
somehow you
slinky.
almost have to attach it to the hook though. That's my thing or the eye of the hook. We're talking about, Eric, when I'm using such a small leader that the weights are constantly getting flipped off, either breaking at the hook or I can't tie a Palomar at that distance.
Could you?
Well, I could.
So I fish. I've struggled with this bait for a long time.
Oh, I
but
see what
found
you're
it
saying. Tie
super-
San Diego Jam.
Do
Sorry.
you guys fish a Yamatanuki?
Yeah, that's what I was talking about. That I
What
think
is
he
it?
doesn't know the name.
Okay.
Yes.
The Yamatanuki?
I don't know what it is.
Yes.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Okay. I was going to say, man. So, I mean, it's not, I don't think it's a household name, but like Yamatanuki on a Tokyo is really effective. But like, could you fish when your application, Travis, could you fish an extended wire Tokyo in what you're doing? Because then you can crimp the wire over down at the bottom.
Yeah. That could work.
The only difference between a Tokyo and a drop shot is,
Sure.
2-inch instead of, 12 to 18.
That's a good point.
Most normal people are. Yeah.
All right.
I got these
All right.
Yamamoto white curltail worms that I read an article about. This guy just would mash them, like literally make ultra long casts for super spooky smallmouth in like shallow water. I'd want to do the Wolf River rig on that.
That's what we got
And
to do.
just
Yes.
drift that
Could you,
thing and
if you
just
had
drift it super visible, just like
yeah,
crush
or
it.
just, or like I was saying, a Kitech 2.8. Think about,
Oh yeah,
you got to have the right weight.
true.
I don't know how it would, if you're,
Yeah, how's that Kitech without you can't have any weight on the Kitech, so you're threading a hook through. Like,
I'm
would it
sure
track straight?
we have to
Or
test it.
just do this? You know
I'm
what I mean?
curious if it would get twisted up on the cast, but I don't think it'd be anything different than,
Well, that
I mean, I
middle
don't know
one
if
that
you
I
can
have has a swivel,
bomb
so
them
even if it
though.
was twisting, yeah, I
You're
don't
really no
know.
different than fishing a swim bait on a drop shot.
That's
True.
true.
Well, it'd be a different look, right?
Totally. Yeah. There's a video that I think Wired to Fish did when the Tokyo came out, the Dan Quinn shot, which is Rapalus Pro Staff guy or Rapalus Pro
Yep.
Staff guy, that is very similar to what you're just talking about.
Huh.
I'm down. I'll bring those swivels up, man. I've been saving them.
All right, I'd like to see that, and I might
It's in
try
my
that a little bit
bag of
this year.
smallmouth tricks. I got 3 bins ready to go.
We're
Anytime
gonna get
you're
the
ready.
Wolf River rig out.
I like it. I like the
Mhm.
name,
Yeah.
Wolf River.
Yeah.
The
Do you know the Wolf River?
Yeah.
could
Oh
just say,
yeah. I mean, it's
bring out the
battle.
wolf.
It's battle boats in the spring in Wisconsin. I mean,
Yep. Yep.
like, it's not angry dock owners. It's angry people next to you. You know, because you're fishing 3 feet from each other.
Oh my
But
gosh.
it's actually kind of fun. I mean, people are typically like, there can be snow. Like, people are usually grilling out in their boats and just catching walleyes.
Grilling on their boats.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Like it's a good time of year. It reminds you kind of like, because of the area that it's in, it reminds you like a giant Packer tailgate party on the water.
Yeah. Eric, I gotta tell you another fun fact because I'd
Yeah.
like to take you to Wisconsin sometime.
I'd like to go.
On the Wolf River, they have shacks, but not ice fishing shacks. Shacks on some are like off of a tree, some are on the shore with, kind of a dock, some are floating like a pontoon floating thing, and these guys
That's
walleye
crazy.
fish off of them just for
That's
2 weeks out of the year.
That's
Like,
crazy.
There's hundreds of them all up
That's
and down the
crazy.
river.
And they anchor the shack. You like drive a
Well,
little
it's right next, or if you have property, but they're all anchored right to the bank. So it's like
wild.
It's like going down a river, and they're not like people's houses. They're literally
Shacks.
Shacks.
Floating shacks.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That's trippy.
Man caves.
Yeah.
I love it.
I'm sure there's some good ones. I've seen some. I'm sure I don't know. Back in the day, I've fished off of a couple. I just have a lot of memories. I mean, it would be old timers like playing cards, and they're cane poles most of the time. Well, I'm talking. This is growing up off of these. Yeah, with a Wolf River rig at the end.
Don't be showing up with your live scope, man.
With a flag on the tip of it.
Nah.
Yeah, like a ribbon.
That's crazy.
That's how I grew up.
That's so old school, man. That's
Yeah,
I love it.
That's how we caught. I mean, with my grandpa, we would bullhead fish and it would be with cane poles.
Wow.
Yeah, Crivets, Wisconsin.
Crivets.
Mhm. Well, good stuff.
Good stuff. That is good stuff, man.
These comments. Well, listen, Ryan, we appreciate you coming on tonight.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah, thanks, Ryan. Good
Exciting
seeing you,
news, guys. What was it? August 8th or 1st that comes out.
A1. So
A1.
You'll start to hear a little bit as we get closer to the industry spectacle that is ICAST. But yeah, it's going to be everybody keep your eyes open because it'll be an interesting ICAST this year. The fishing industry in general is kind of a unique place to be working in right now, and there's a lot of changes going on in the industry as you all can see as being fans and anglers. But
for sure,
you'll see new product from St. Croix this year.
Good stuff, man. Well, I love my Avid Inshore, man. Been sending it every day. It's got me some good fish down here.
Well, we're gonna be putting the
sandwiches on the table and grilled ones.
The 7-foot medium Legend Extreme for drop shotting tomorrow. We'll have the 7-foot medium Legend X. Oh, medium heavy, which I normally drag the heavy football heads on, but I'm using it sight fishing with tubes just this time of year for smallies. And what else will we be throwing? The Legend Elite 7-foot medium light with a Ned.
With a Ned.
That's how we'll get it done.
There you go.
Nice.
Perfect. All right, Ryan, we'll catch you later. And
buddy.
well, we all end it together.
That sounds good, Travis. Send them
good.
off.
And as always, until next time, see you on the water. I thought Ryan was supposed to end it with us.
I think, well, I mean,
I didn't end it yet.
Oh, you
Where'd he
didn't?
go? He just left.
Yeah.
Man. What'd you think?
See that painting behind me?
Your dad painted that watercolor.
It's the last one he ever painted. It's an oil.
Mm-hmm. Oh, there you go.
Yep.
Yeah. Just
Good
reading
show,
the comments. Man. Yeah.
Very
we got to
good
go.
show.
Actually,
Very
now I
good
can bust
We
into my
gotta go.
dates. Ooh.
Do it up, man. Dates. Nice. Getting some fiber in there.
Dude, we got to catch up.
We do.
I called you back.
Yeah, I know. I'm just down here with family, man. Last day, relatives were in town. You know, kooky. I thought I'd catch you. I didn't catch you. I was trying to call you, see if you're going to get together with VTC. He's up in New York. I thought you guys were hanging out fishing. I'm like, how did he do that? Like, he's been promising going on a trip with me we've been talking about that for years, and every time he's going someplace else. I'm like, how's that work?
Mm-hmm.
Anyway.
I was shocked.
I know, right?
I mean, I was beat. There's no way I would beat. First of all, I'm booked. So, did I tell you I pulled a triple the other day?
That's crazy.
Did I tell you that?
Yeah. No, you didn't.
6 to 1, 1 to 5, 5 to 9.
Wow. That's awesome.
I don't think
you made a lot of people happy that day.
I'll never want to do that again. I don't think.
Dude, that's a lot of time on the water.
4 days a week, I'd do that.
Yeah, occasionally, sure. Triples. Get it while you can. Absolutely. That's a lot of fishing. That's a lot of time on the water, man.
Dude, if you saw the way I was flogging the other day.
You were flogging out of your head, huh?
I'm talking cloudy, hard to see.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
3-footers.
Oh, jeez.
Dude, maneuvering the boat, and some
That's
fish are 20 minutes to catch, right?
That's crazy.
I'm sitting over the side of the boat for 20 minutes in 3-footers, and I am soaked. Water's busting.
I'm not doing that. Me. I don't care. I'm going to find another way to catch them for people. I can't. No way. That's dedication. That's all I got to say. Mad respect. The first wave that hit me on the chest, I'd be going, guys, we're pulling up. The fish is bugged out.
Yeah. Travis says, because we're really wearing those shorts with those kids and grandpa on the Lund deck. Okay, guys, I wear Legend shorts right here. There they are. They're short. I'm hoping to get sponsored by them. I get you guys a code. But they're the most comfortable. You got to get kind with the liner. You don't even have to wear underwear. And and so I get the 7-inch inseam. I have a 33 waist. I buy size large. I burn through them. I own over 20 pairs.
Wow.
The white's been us. They just don't put white on their website in the last couple of years, and those are ones that get stained the most, So I'm really down to just 39, but yeah.
Crazy.
I mean, you wouldn't wear shorts like that?
Mm-mm.
No.
No, man. I wear them. They're over the knee, man. I like them a little longer.
Huh.
I don't like them short shorts, man.
Yeah. Well,
to each his own.
I don't think they're that short. They're not like tight like Tommy Biffle short and tight.
No, they're not like the 1970 coaches shorts or anything. Like Russell shorts. But they is short. But if it works for you, man, you feel good. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
I can't see myself in any other type of short.
You have found your short. That's a good place to be.
Mm-hmm. What you
nice.
Eating? You want to get going? I thought we were doing a little after hours, man.
What are we going to do? Some after
hours?
It
sounds like you're rushing me off my own show.
No, dude, I'm just on vacation. That's all.
I understand. Like, what are you gonna do now? Like, you're gonna lay on the couch and watch some Netflix. That's what you want to do. You want to watch Netflix all alone on some random couch in some dude's house. I'm the dude. I hear
This
you.
is my house. This is my house. I'm not at some dude's house. That's my house.
Yeah.
This is my house.
Eric likes capri pants in the comments.
Capri pants. That's good. Capri pants.
Lee, that was a good comment, but because of the liner, you really can tuck that stuff away and no issues there. I was always self-conscious about that.
You don't want that junk popping out. Middle of some grandpa freaking guide trip with his kids.
Mm-hmm.
Man. You're enjoying these comments. Where are the comments? Hold on. I gotta find the comments. Why can't I find the comments?
I don't know, man.
Anyway, man.
All right.
They got chat. Where are there? Comments.
Mm-hmm.
Had to be a wild conversation on the home with Grandpa Turtlehead fishing. That's hysterical. Good.
What's
stuff,
the limit
man.
of baits you should eat in one setting?
I wouldn't eat more than, I don't know, 10.
Oh, I'm good then.
Yeah. Tell me about it tomorrow if I gave you good advice.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, these are good comments, man.
Uh-huh.
Good stuff, man. Good stuff.
Uh-huh.
Always. Skinwalkers wear short shorts.
Well,
Sean Lai wears them. In good company.
he probably does.
That's right.
So what's your plan tomorrow?
Fishing.
No, like honestly, like do you plan what will your morning look like?
So 9:00, I'll have an all team meeting with I'm still doing work.
No, hold on. So, when do you wake up?
Oh my God, I'm up at like 6 every day, sunrise.
Okay, so where do you go? Do you go on the porch?
In the kitchen, right here,
and you make coffee in the kitchen.
Yeah, then I'll walk out to the porch, admire the sunset, sit out there, just
sunrise.
The beach, look. That's what I meant. Sunrise. Sorry, sunrise. Maybe see a jogger or two, watch the ocean a little bit. Look at the watercolor, look at the wind direction, check the weather.
Okay. Then what? Now it's 8.
Instagram
stories. Okay.
Just read. I haven't posted much at all.
Just catching up. Okay.
Yeah, just catching up.
Then you got a corporate meeting. Like this is every day?
Meeting. No. That's email throughout the day, every day for sure.
Okay. How do you keep track of all this? Do you put in a calendar or you just know? Okay.
Yeah, it's standing meeting Tuesday, all team meeting.
Because you still seem like a tech guy, bud. I never see you with a computer. You just when we travel.
I have an iPad.
Okay. You can do it all right there.
That's all I need, man.
Okay.
Absolutely.
All right.
Yeah.
So team meeting, then what?
P&L, for
How long does that last?
Hour and a half. Then we'll have a management meeting after that. And probably at 11:00, I'll hit the pier, hang out, come back for a little lunch, jump in the pool with my wife.
What do you mean hit the pier?
Go pier fishing.
But how far away is it?
3 minutes.
You walking or driving?
Driving.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
How long do you fish for?
That's Nag's Head is north. Jeanette's is south. If trout season was in, I might hit the little bridge in the morning and then go to the pier. But trout season's closed. They had a hard frost down here, or freeze, and it was like a freezing shock weather system that went through, and they're worried about the trout population, so they closed it until July 1st. Because I enjoy catching speckled trout and the sound. So the sound is that way, the ocean's that way.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Phase asked, no, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Phased asked Travis, what would you do without any sonar? So he's probably referring to if I couldn't fish with forward facing sonar. I would sell all my stuff and I would move to the Caribbean and be a homeless bartender on the beach. And you know that's true, Eric.
It's crazy to think about, but he would. Nuts, man. What got you into dates?
They taste good.
Yeah, they are tasty.
You
You ever
put them
put a
on
nut
salads?
inside? Yeah, dates are good.
No.
Have you ever put a nut inside of a date, like a pecan or a walnut?
Walnut, yeah.
So good.
And wrap it
Dates are
in
delicious.
bacon. Probably.
Hey, dates are fantastic.
Man.
Yep. Good stuff. It's a good snack.
Yeah.
It's a natural.
West Coast Cocktail Crush. I don't even know how to make a drink, but it'd just be fun to try.
You'd learn. Would you?
Oh,
you'd enjoy saltwater fishing. I think you'd like it.
Yeah.
There's some big fish out yonder. Oh man, it's crazy.
All good.
Crazy. All right, brother.
All right. Until next time, see you on the water.
Boom.